Got a great one lined up for y'all today. It's going to start very shortly. Got some house cleaning to do. We got some house cleaning to do first, you know. Let's get her done. Please like, share, subscribe. Looking forward to this one. Please like, share, and subscribe. Karen, can you go ahead and do your thing? Big ups to the sponsors, Midwest Specials. Big ups. And I think, hold up, Karen. I think we got this.
It's criticism, comment, news, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Please like, share, subscribe. Please like, share,
We
subscribe.
are, as they say, tangled in our anchor chain. Our financial systems are decades old. According to some estimates, we cannot track $2.3 trillion in transactions. According to some estimates, we cannot track $2.3 trillion in transactions. According to some estimates, we cannot track $2.3 trillion in transactions.
Next week, 9/3/24, off-brand presidential candidates. We only got two candidates. It's only two. Somebody asked me, well, you know, what are the other ones?
Allegedly, that's ignorant.
All right, so we're going to go down this rabbit hole, you know what I mean? And we're going to, you know, handpick some of these candidates, the ones the media is not talking about. I posted what my list of demands are from this so-called government. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to show people how, in my opinion, they should make these decisions when they're going to throw their vote away. Because if you're voting for one of these souls, guess what? You could be throwing your vote away.
If you decide between lesser evils, then you probably are.
No, they're ignorant. That's ignorant. They're ignorant. That's ignorant. They're ignorant. That's ignorant.
Block right here. I should call this shit no block. It's 10 o'clock. Where the fuck y'all niggas at? This what y'all wanted me in Chicago? O block right here. I should call this shit no block. It's 10 o'clock. Where the fuck y'all niggas at? Niggas ain't outside. It's only 10 p.m. Where the fuck y'all niggas at, block?
O block right now. Where we at? Tell you something, man. This ain't no ground, man. I'm live on O block right now. Where we at? This O block. I'm from Miami. I just want to tell niggas, man, we gotta stop killing each other, man. Yeah, this shit ain't about nothing. All that killing shit, we gotta work together, man. Stop killing each other, my nigga. I had to come over here and tell niggas that shit, my nigga.
I'm right here. See where I'm at. Out here. Black Star Line cigars. For grown men. On some grown man stuff. And to the PDs, stop doing that killing. Please, stop doing that killing.
And even in this instance, if I could be of service to a 9-year-old girl or a 19-year-old woman or girl who wants to be a woman, is to really remember that self-love is the best way that you can receive love from anybody else, because it's coming from you. A lot of times we forget that. We look externally for this love. We look externally for this feeling of validation and adoration and approval, and it has to come from within.
All right, we got that self-love vision on. Karen, let's get this music going. Get off the police. Get off the phone with the police, Karen. I'm telling you, they live around here. Hi, yeah, buddy. Where we at? Where we at?
The Self Love Show, giving you more than vitamins and minerals. Food for your soul, information and plans integral to making your mind grow. With more growth and development, BS is irrelevant to the intelligent. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is what we represent. It's the Self Love Show, the Self Love Show, the Self Love Show. We do it for our people. The Self Love Show, it's the Self Love Show, it's the Self Love Show. To expose they don't equal. The Self Love Show, the Self Love Show, the Self Love Show. We wordsmith 9 nails. The Self Love Show, the Self Love Show. You know how the story goes. It's the Self Love Show.
Y'all know how the story go. As was clearly said, it's the Self Love Show. Before we start, the views expressed in today's podcast are those of the host, guests, and are not necessarily reflective of TATN or any affiliates. Welcome to another edition of the Self Love Show on This Ain't That Network, or as we say, TATN. TATN, not ESPN. This is a spot where we explore captivating topics to expand our community's minds and ignite our curiosities. Thank you, Karen. This one of co-host and I am Millie. All praise to the ancestors, the Most High, and my late beloved Mama Sky. This show is dedicated to my late beloved Grandmama Collins. So rest up. Tonight, we're honored to have the incredibly talented Milauna Jackson joining us again. She's recently finished shooting her captivating role in the upcoming film Triple Eight, starring the always dynamic Kerry Washington and more. This is set to be released on Christmas Day. All right. She's also known for roles in A Jazz Man's Blues, How to Get Away with Murder, Animal Kingdom, The Good Doctor, FBI, Chicago PD, Aquarius, Strike Back, and legendary and controversial director Spike Lee's American Skin. With her dynamic presence and powerful performances, she's captured the hearts of audiences. Today, we're going to delve into the history of the 6888th Central Postal Directory Battalion, also known as the 6888. Big ups. And all copper-colored, all-female battalion during World War II. Milauna will also share her experience filming the movie, what it's like working alongside cats like Kerry Washington and others, and her approach to building her character on the film. So this should be pretty fruitful. Her ability to embody complex characters with depth and authenticity is earning her critical acclaim and a growing, emerging fan base. So big ups to her for doing this. As we embark on this conversation, we hope to provide a deeper understanding of the motivations that drive her to stay tied to her roots, doing things like appearing on the Self Luv Show, despite any potential perceived notions of how this may or may not affect her budding career. Why is she never too busy or too bougie to stay grounded? Whether you're a longtime fan or new to her work, today's episode promises to be an insightful and engaging exploration of the life and career of a remarkable actress. So, whip out your self-love vision. Yeah. Might even need a tin hat later on in the show, because that's what we do. This is the Self Luv Show, and this is the revolution. And the revolution will not, in fact, be on YouTube. These are lessons, not lectures. We're live and in living color. Today's Tuesday, November 12 at about 7:04 in Chicago. As always, you cats can be anywhere in this magnanimous universe, but thankfully, we all chose to be here together. Here. Together. Bear down, brother Wordsmith. Bear down. What you manifesting today?
Love, 9. You know me. I'm manifesting love. What you manifesting?
Ditto, good brother. Pure, unfiltered, unfettered love. Yeah, you have it. I sent it at 8:45 a.m. I'll resend it.
I didn't get any text from you at all. It's strange. Very.
Yeah, it's crazy. I had some problems too. Figured out what was going on with my mic, man. I got this new metal stand. It's metal base.
Yeah.
So it's metal on the metal. It's creating an electrical, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
yeah. And so I had to put like something in between it, you know. So it's working fine now. So yeah, but I'm manifesting love too, brother. Pure, unfiltered, unfettered. Many have said harsh. Others have said tough. But I can assure you it's self-love just the same.
No doubt.
Yeah, that's not delivered. I don't know what's going on. All right, there we go. The one earlier was. All right, I don't know what's going on. Let's see. All right, y'all. So what to expect on today's shebang? We always kick it off with the Self-Love Show quote of the day. And then I think I know what's going on. It's not, you didn't get it still?
No.
It's got an attachment on it and something's wrong. I don't know. I'll get to you.
Yeah.
Probably be able to go up. Give us some hubbub here.
Yes, y'all. It don't stop. The Self Love Show rocks on. Man, we've had a great group of shows, man. I advise you to go check them out. They are edutainment at its finest. Just recently found out that I have a show on December 16th. I will definitely let everybody know the exact location. It's not been determined as of yet, but it's going to be explosive. Eddie Sevo and Tory Wordsmith gonna get down. That's for sure.
That is for sure.
Hey, big up those sponsors, bro.
Oh yeah, and Ancestor Echoes is sponsored by Midwest Festivals, and it's coming up again, 3rd annual. It's going to be amazing, outstanding. You know how it goes.
3rd annual what?
Ancestor Echoes.
Oh,
Echoes.
What is that?
It's a house camping event. It's gone back to house music. Exciting. It's all kinds of house music, and it's gonna have some DJs from all over. And if you missed the first two, you really missed something.
You said it's camping too, huh, bro?
Yeah, glamping even. Think it's gonna be a lot more glampers this year.
Yeah, so you better put your bid in quick. Oh, almost got it, bro. Give me a sec. You better get your bid in quick because it's going fast. Space is going fast. Miss it if you want to.
Definitely, and you might just be at a new location.
Man, I forgot this started happening, man. It don't sound like my long text anymore that have the attachment on it.
Oh yeah.
See if you got it now.
I do not.
At this point, I don't know what to tell you.
This is asinine here.
Yeah.
Same cell phones about to get it together. You know, they shadow banning us and making all kinds of craziness happen with machinery.
All right, man. I just sent you the email. All right, y'all. So how the format works? We got the Self Love Show quote of the day. We got the More Growth and Development video. That's our platform, and then we're gonna unpack a video out there. Yeah. Self Love and I are gonna react to a video real quick, and then we have our dome teaser because we honestly feel like your mind is awful when you waste it. So use it or lose it. It's that type of situation. And then we jump on topic. We get our wonderful guests in the building. Our topic, the 888 film star Milauna Jackson, is back on the Self Love Show. And very powerful film, relevant, extremely relevant, something that I was ignorant to. So that's why it's good to, put works out like this because I was ignorant about it. All right. It's phenomenal what those ladies were able to accomplish, which we'll get into later. But then we wrap it up at the very end of the show. My personal favorite part, and that's where this brother, Wordsmith, he's going to summarize the entire show off the top of the dome with a bit of prose for us. So that's the format. Got any announcements there, fella?
Like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, share it far and wide.
That's right. If anybody in the Hollywood industry, maybe you're looking to get in, maybe you're in, or what have you, interact. Everyone's welcome to interact in the live chat. Won't cost you a dime. The algorithm loves it. We ask you to repost the link, share it. Let's get it out there because we're going to go on a journey today. We are going on a journey today. So enough of my yapping. Let me turn it over to this fella so he can handle his business.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. As you know, the Self Love Show has been going on for quite some time, and we have been laying down information for our people.
Yeah, you got it.
I got the email, but I don't.
All right, don't worry about it. Just hey y'all, the Self Love Show quote of the day: "You can be the lead in your own life. Your life is your story, and the adventure ahead of you is the journey to fulfill your own purpose and potential." Once again, you could be the lead in your own life. Your life is your story, and the adventure ahead of you is the journey to fulfill your own purpose and potential. That quote was by Kerry Washington. Big ups, Kerry Washington.
Nice. Nice. And as always, we have very important video for you to watch.
Self Love Show, more growth and development program.
Yep. Coming right up. Yeah, this thing is acting food.
Silverback More Growth and Development Platform. Number 1, repair our nation via reparations. We demand our silver back. Number 2, to connect our breadwinners with our activists. And 3, show an accurate depiction of African American Chi-Town. 4, to shine a light on positive influence. 5, heal our community one person at a time. 6, to provide an unfiltered platform for our influencers. 7, recycle the black dollar. 8, to provide mentors for the mentorless. 9, to close the gap between us and our pink kinsmen.
I might.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, sure.
And number 10, protect our women, children, and ourselves by any and all means necessary. Said. Hey, in case I sent it to your other phone. It said it was delivered, so I don't know if that worked.
Yeah. I got it.
All right, so last week, if y'all missed our topic, we covered life, health, eat to live, and polytricks. We had Miss Suki J. She made her return. Great information. She revealed a lot about her personal health journey and how she's turned everything around just by eating like a human being.
Absolutely. It was outstanding. Great information, and great participation.
Facts.
Check it out. Check it out.
All right. So last week, screw that. All right, so we got a poll up. We got a poll up on TATN, y'all, and it's why are Democrats losing Black and Latino voters? Why are Democrats losing Black and Latino voters? That's what our thing is. And you can go to the community tab if you want your voice heard. You know, you want to sit on the couch and then not go vote. But you can sit on the couch here and still vote. Just click on the community tab and your voice can be heard. It's totally anonymous. All right, so here we go. we got, here are your options. Kamala Harris and other poor candidates. That's your option number one. Number two, way too much smug virtue signaling. Way too much smug virtue signaling. Everybody's dumb. They're smart. Everybody's racist and misogynist. They're not. How about this one? Migrant funding, economy, and other tone-deaf policies. That's another option. Migrant funding, economy, and other tone-deaf policies. And your final option, misogyny. Misogyny. You know, the brothers who, I don't know. You know, we don't love black women. You know what I mean? We'd rather vote for fat. You know, I mean, I don't want to say fat. Big ups to anybody who's overweight because I'm struggling with it. But I'm saying an obese pink man. Orange pink. Orange is pink. Let me be clear. I didn't vote for him. Let me be clear. All right. Let's push on. So those are your options. We'll let you know what we picked at the end of the show. Feel free to let us know because this information can only help the Democratic Party win again. All right. Win, TATN.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great show. I advise you to go check it out.
What the hell are you talking about?
Suki show.
Way past that.
I know. It's still a great show. Go back and check it out.
Oh, okay. It was a great show. Everybody check that out. Yeah, check that out. All right. Okay. Let's see here. All right. All right, bro. Did you see no, we're not doing any tattoo tyranny. But the topic, the 888, we got Milauna Jackson's return. So please like, share, subscribe. But I want to unpack a video here. It's along the lines of the poll. Big ups to TATN. So fair use. Sapphire goddesses. Karen, I want you to run this video, and then Self Love, I just want to hear your immediate reaction to it. And then we can pretty much get on and get our guests in the building. Our guests will be here within like 5 to 7 minutes, and then we can boom, you know? All right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I might get some violations and I may offend some people with what I'm going to say, and I don't give a to you black men who your fragile ego couldn't take a black woman in office. So
fragile.
For Trump, you didn't vote at all. The police will now have carte blanche to murder you right where you stand. And when they do that, there's not going to be no GoFundMe's.
They're going to murder you next.
Your family to ask us for shit. Just die. They can't afford to bury you. Dig a hole in their backyard. It is what it is.
Wow.
But don't expect sympathy. Don't expect protest in the streets.
She needs a hand puppet.
Black women, we're done with. We're done. We did our due diligence for this century and the next. We've done enough. We're not doing anymore.
Hey, kudos to the reporter that outed the black men who went and voted for Trump. What the is wrong with y'all? What the is wrong with y'all? Y'all are so money hungry for someone who's not going to give y'all any money. It was in the woodworks for Kamala to help you out. And you said he gave me $1,200 one time. I'll vote for him again. You hate black women. You can't say you don't now. You actively voted against black women. What the You were broke yesterday. You were broke today. And if that man wins, you're going to be broke for the next years. Real broke.
The police gonna start killing you young one by one by one.
You look like NBA young boy.
And they gonna clock into work tomorrow because your dumb stupid ass decided to vote for Donald Trump, and he gave the police immunity, which means that if they kill you, they can still go to work.
And the next time that a black man died at the hands of the police, the same black men that voted for Trump, I want y'all to be front line, front center.
Black women, it's just us.
Are you listening to this?
It's just us, and we
I'm
have to
appalled.
lock in and organize together. I'm not talking about organizing politically. I'm talking about organizing every aspect of our existence, because no one is coming to help us. It's just us and these children.
Big
I have
sexist
seen this
is,
video, but
misogyny
it's
is,
still appalling
because
to the
y'all rather vote
highest
for
every
somebody who
time.
told y'all
I
that
can't.
y'all are less than. Y'all rather vote for somebody who told y'all he doesn't care about y'all, who shows y'all he doesn't care about y'all because he's a man, versus voting for a woman who's very qualified, extremely qualified, probably one of the most qualified people to ever run for president. Has
Programming.
done the work.
Yeah,
But
locking brothers up.
she's a woman and a black
Review
woman
said
at
it.
that. Y'all just couldn't see yourself voting for her. So, look, when something happens that's not right, when police brutality, all of that, I need y'all to be on the front lines, front and center,
That's crazy, man.
ready to, cause a ruckus. I need y'all to
Over an
keep
election,
that
bro.
same energy. You get what I'm saying? Because black women, we ain't got it no more. We don't have it. We don't have it.
What's your response
That's
to
obvious.
that? Have you seen the clip, Madam Vice President, from the griot? It's a clip that's kind of out of context, and it says,
So I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm gonna do something that's only gonna benefit black people.
have you seen that?
He's qualified.
Well, it's a clip that has you saying that you're not going to do anything specifically.
Qualified
She ain't saying it.
immunity.
That's just not true.
It's just not true.
Next
Yeah.
week, that's what kill that, please, Karen. That's what she said. I don't know. So I mean, as a so-called black man, because we're not. What's your summation of that, there, fella? What's going on?
Ignorance at the highest form. Can't blame black men for this. I see somebody who you don't blame, and you never will. White women voted for Trump both times against women.
80% of the brothers, against my wishes, probably went out there and voted for Kamala because she's an AKA. Okay.
Yeah.
And they saw her and she looks like us. All skin folk ain't kinfolk people.
Period.
I'm just going to throw that out there. And I don't care what those liberals are saying. Those wacky, way to the left liberals are programming day after day. I just don't care.
That right there was some of the most toxic
femininity.
I get, well, it's coming from the feminine side. So, but it's toxic. I don't care who said any of that crap. It was toxic at its worst.
Yeah,
they're gonna kill you, and so what?
And don't ask for no money for funerals. Don't you know those people are shamming you, stupid? Do you even live in a community? No real black men are doing GoFundMe's for stuff like that. Those probably migrants out there.
I'm just appalled.
Could this be because a lot of their fathers, weren't present? A lot of their, but we don't know why. We're not going to get into the whys. We haven't looked at the tape. There's no excuse for that, though. I'm strong on that. But could this be programming? Could this be another attempt at the destruction of the original family? Could that be what this is?
It's exactly what it is, and it's beyond. It's ridiculous. This is hard to stomach. I don't understand how you fell for that.
80% of the brothers went out there and voted, higher than any other demographic except for white women. Right? Even Indian men didn't vote for her. But we get attacked.
Well, they're going to attack us at every turn, and not just our women, but everybody attacks us at every turn. So it's quite.
Yeah, they feel like it's only them being attacked all of a sudden. I know. All right, we'll push past it. All right,
yeah, they're pathetic.
We'll push past it.
That sector, I'll say, is pathetic.
If you're gonna do this with every syllable, get yourself a hand puppet, and I promise you, I'm more likely to listen to everything that you're sputtering. All right, the AAA film star, we got Milauna Jackson in the building. We got a lot to unpack here. I put today's dome teaser or riddle into the chat. So I stand tall in the face of fear, though you may not see me here. Through struggle and strife, I lead the way, a guiding light, both night and day. What am I? Once again, and this riddle is courtesy of the AI, Chat GTP. I stand tall in the face of fear, though you may not see me here. Through struggle and strife, I lead the way, a guiding light, both night and day. What am I? You guys feel free to put your guess, you know, whatever you think it is into the chat. We'll let you know if you're wrong or right. Brother Wordsmith has typed it in our personal chat. And once again, the Riddler, not the Diddler, the Riddler. The Riddler has solved it. So he is correct. But enough of the appetizers out there.
Let's quench the self-love nation's thirst.
All right. And Karen, as you spin that, we'll get the guests out of the cream room. Next week,
March!
we're trying to see if Milano's going to come back. How have you utilized your Southside Chicago upbringing?
Tenacity.
How have you utilized your
Scars
Southside Chicago?
that got growing up falling.
How have you utilized
What the?
Tripping and falling. Kind of represent the journey is that you will fall a lot and you got to get up. And also the scar could be a reminder that you do heal.
That's what's up.
She's she's in some film, I think.
This is our mission.
So
Yeah, I'm sure.
yeah,
She got lots of credit since she was last here.
yeah. You know, fingers crossed we can make that happen.
I wanted to do business. My brother became famous, and we
you
had
kill
an
that.
opportunity to leave that world and go into another world.
All right, yeah, we was just getting feedback. But Self Love, go ahead and do your thing, bro.
Welcome back. Thank you so much again, gracing us with your appearance.
Thank you.
I've
Thank
been
you.
looking forward to this and want to hear what's going on.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me back. I was having some technical difficulties. This always makes me feel so vulnerable because technology is just not something that I utilize as frequently as I would like to. So I'm still, the Zoom link always kind of gets me. And then I actually went to the YouTube page and was like, how do I connect? How am I was like, it's still new. I'm still learning. I'm still learning, but I'm here. I'm glad I'm here.
Hey, that's my bad too. I didn't spell it out for you because you've been here before, so I figured, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's just like it's because I don't like to Zoom on my phone. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and most of the links always go through my phone.
Yeah.
I have to remind myself when that happens to immediately just send it to my email because I'm always going to connect or desire to connect on my computer.
Yeah, we had to figure that out. Then we said when we first started Zooming,
Oh,
people would
yeah.
be like, send it to my computer. I'm like, email it to yourself. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Yeah, I got that part.
It's the quickest way to do it. Otherwise, you get caught up in a rabbit hole trying to figure stuff out.
Exactly.
All right, y'all. So real quickly, why we do this, this show was born out of watching George Floyd get kneed out for 9 minutes. So there's some energy attached to that. And we personally don't apologize, but the energy is going to be really peaceful and love today because that's what it's about. You know what I mean? Peace, love, and music, and also good film. That's why we're here. So, all All right. So unless you got something you want to say regarding anything you're promoting, I know we're here for the 6888, but if anything else you want to speak on, and then maybe how the people can get in touch with you, and then we'll like your social media or your manager, and then we'll jump right into it.
Okay. Well, you gave me a whole lot. Let me see what I can recall. What I'm working on, obviously, I am promoting my upcoming project called the 6888. I am very excited about this project, so that will be something that I promote today. You can find me on Instagram. Social media is not my thing, but Twitter is my favorite of the two. I'm a lot more expressive on Twitter than I am on Instagram.
It's X now.
Yeah, no, it's gonna always be Twitter. Me. It's like, your mama called you Twitter, I'm gonna call you Twitter. It's Milauna Jackson. I'm sorry, it's at Milauna Jackson, and that's MILAUNAJEMAI, Milauna Jackson. What else did you say? You said
I think that was it. Yeah, I think that was pretty much it. You covered it well.
Okay.
And big ups to the lovely Tasia for once again helping bring this together. I think she's probably our #1 fan now. Before it was my mom, rest her soul. Yeah. So
Well,
big ups to her.
the fact that your mama's your #1 fan is, that's you done made it. Like, like pleasing mama is, it's like she love it, then it's like, okay, that gets you out the door. And then the wife, opens the other door.
Yeah,
But,
the mama will be there if you're sitting on the electric chair.
Yes.
Mama will be there.
Yes. And so will Tasia.
Yeah,
That's
of
really
course.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Well,
speaking
I
of
won't be there. That's what,
no.
yeah, I'm not gonna be in the electric chair.
No. But my point is that you were talking support and the value of support, and what brought us together is the support of your wife, who is also a friend of mine, a near dear friend of mine, and she also is my esthetician. She was one of the first people. I always have to say this because it's really the nature of the business. She was one of the first people who actually cast me in something, and she was directing. I'm sorry, she was producing this play called "Sex is a Three-Letter Word, 69 Ain't Just a Number," and it was one of the first plays that really took me out of my comfort zone. And so she
I
saw.
didn't know about that play. I'm just playing.
I thought you was about to say something else. She was one of the first people to really push me out of that kind of. There's a restriction that happens when you're new in your instrument, where you feel compelled to want to play it safe. If you haven't been broken of that, then it's, there's no freedom. And so this play gave me freedom. It reminded me of how much I loved it, because there was nobody in the audience. So some days it was just our mothers, our parents, our our family. But some days there weren't anybody in it. It wasn't anybody in the theater. But it was a pleasurable experience, and so I always credit her for that.
Support Black art, y'all. Support Black art. People work hard.
Artists.
And artists, 100%. People put their soul, to her point, into these passion things, and we don't always have to run to the, I don't know, do other things. We can sometimes just support Black art wherever it shows up. Yeah, so I'll leave it there. All right, so let's go ahead and hop into it. I just want to start out with some quick updates since our last show. So since your last appearance on the Self Luv Show, right here on TATN, what new projects have you been working on? I know the 6888, and but more importantly, how have those projects influenced your career?
Oh, well, that's interesting, because I was trying to think when I was last on here, I was promoting American Skin. I feel like I was promoting that, right? So I did my very first production with Tyler Perry, and that was a Jazz Man's Blues. That was a period piece that was set in the 40s, very much the same time of the 688, which is an interesting kind of it's like an oppositional outlook on how each character views life. And I had to like that's part of the challenge of this most recent film is I had to find that. I had to explore what that looks like. I also did Law and Order. I did an episode of Law and Order, which is an interesting component to my story. Yeah. So I remember it was in one of the valleys. The valley is when the depression can set in, right? That's like the dark area. And I was just listening to something today, The Laws of Human Nature. And there's a point in the chapter that I'm in right now that talks about the value of depression. And what depression really does is it tells you to slow down. It knocks you down and causes you to have introspective moments. You just can't stay in that state, obviously. So that when you come out of it, that's when you're now seeking euphoria and aiming for joy and aiming for the antithesis of the depressive state, right? Which is uncertainty, it's fear, it's doubt. And so when I was in that state, I was talking to my mom on the phone. I had finished a Jazz Man's Blues and I wasn't working. I wasn't earning income. That's how I like to say it. I wasn't earning active income. My mainstream of income is the business at the time. And I actively was like, I need a job. And my mother, we have had these conversations before. Like she's been my manager. She went from my manager to being solely my mom, to being solely my mom, to becoming an investor, which is quite a beautiful transition in our relationship. But I was like, I need a job. And she was like, well, what you gonna do? I was like, I don't know. Maybe I could be somebody's assistant. I was like, I'm looking always at the skills that you typically look for when you're seeking an extra source of income, right? So for us, it's typically labor. It's typically, sales. It's typically like what I got that I could sell. I got extra clothes. Like, what can I do so that I can earn some income? I can help somebody out. I can, use goods and services. Those are the options. And I let it go. I was like, I don't know. I just let it go. And as soon as I got home, I got a phone call that I received an offer to do an episode of Law and Order. And what was so interesting about that moment is I forget that what I do is work. It's hard to articulate that to even myself because it sounds a bit illogical because I was raised, we were conditioned, my generation was conditioned that the only way that you excel in life is work, and you got to work hard, especially in Chicago. It's a labor town. So there's a value in hard work. And so in my mindset, I'm saying exactly what it is. I need a job. And I was offered a job. And it was on a show that was intimidating as fuck because Law and Order is a staple in a time in every actor's life where they're like, if you move to New York, you gonna do an episode of Law and Order. And I have not experienced living in New York yet. So for it to come enveloped in this past work relationship solidified my destiny in it. And that's just that I need to recognize that I have touched lives on set in a specific kind of way that has a lingering effect. And as long as I choose to see that from the most positive standpoint, so that's like a gardener planting a seed and expecting growth. As long as I'm expecting that growth to happen, if I'm planting the seeds and I know I know my intention. See, I know my intention. So if I'm planting it with great intentions, my expectation has to be ripe fruit, right? And so I feel like this is kind of always been my journey. So obviously, the last time I was here, if it was American Skin, I'd worked with Nate Parker on another project. So he has his passion project. He reaches out. I auditioned for A Jazz Man's Blues. I am offered the role. I receive a word from Tyler Perry that there's a table reading. He invites me to the table reading. I can't do the table reading. I'm actually in New York working on Law and Order, that I had just said I needed this opportunity to come, and it came. So I forgot about it and then referred one of my dear friends to the table reading, wasn't able to do it. And yet still it was ordained by God for me to portray this woman. And I didn't know that this would be a part of the seed that I had planted from A Jazz Man's Blues. I'm just showing up in my best light because I have a purpose-driven life. So I'm destined to do my best with all the capacity that I have. So sometimes it's on like a phone, or like, a character in a video game. You get hit enough times, you need time to rejuvenate. So in in those moments where I'm rejuvenating, I'm thinking like, damn, I'm not working. It's a lot of time that's gone by, and it's apparently because I am allowing myself to sit in the valley until it's time for me to come out for that next opportunity. And it has helped me at this phase of my career because I'm able to see it now. I'm able to see it now from a perspective of looking at all of the people that I've worked with, all of the projects that I've been a part of, and how I'm now working with people that, like Kerry Washington, my very first audition for a feature film that was a studio feature film, was Save the Last Dance. So to go from being not able to be cast in a speaking part of Save the Last Dance, but I was like, a background dancer, right? So they cast me to dance. I was dancing, and they were like, okay, you're not as strong, so walk your ass to the bar. And I remember walking to the bar, looking in this scene, looking down and seeing Kerry Washington. So now I'm looking at her as a background artist to now working opposite her as a leading actress in a supporting role.
Yeah.
Powerful.
It's amazing.
So the darkness, the valley, you're at that point, and then boom, you get all these offers. You're like too busy to talk to Tyler Perry. Like, that's crazy.
Stop it.
Well, I don't mean it like that. I mean, you
it
booked. You already booked where you can't. I don't mean it like that. I'm not trying to say it, but I'm just saying it's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's magical, is what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say. And so if you're okay, what do you think, or what do you think like just hit that switch for you? Like, it was like an on switch came on. You think it was like somebody you met on set? You think it was?
I think it was every experience I've ever had in my life. I think it's all encompassing. It's all things. What is, I believe, the most impactful has been my relationship with one of my cousins.
Okay.
One of my cousins has shared with me some stuff about me that no one, not even my mom, really shared with me. And that was that I really articulated my life my life's passions and desires at 3.
Mm.
So I was very clear very early on that exploration was something that mattered to me, that was exciting. So that could be exploring a subject, that could be exploring a new venture, that could be exploring the depths of the ocean, that could be exploring love, that could be like I have an insatiable appetite for knowledge and wisdom. And once I realized the value of that in my life and my character, because there's truth that tends to come out and the camera is unbiased, right? So it's clear that you know, people try to fake it on camera, but the camera sees what the camera sees and picks up is an man-made device, right? But the reality is that I really do love what I do. I love the study of human behavior. I love observing people. I've always been told that I was weird when I would stare at people that I found interesting. There was always, even if it's a posture, if it's their walk, their cadence, it could be their aura, it can be the confidence that they have, yet I still am able to see the insecurity. Like I've always been that person to explore why. Why are they like that? Why is she choosing this lifestyle of being a scammer, but she loves her family? Like I liked doing that just on GP. Like, you know, like that was just a part of who I am. And so if that's just who I am, and now I've learned through my relationship with my cousin to embrace that side and go back to the infant in me, the child in me.
Mm.
Your question, I think, which is a question that most people ask, like your 9-year-old self, your 12-year-old self. Mickey's still here. She's still in me.
Mm-hmm.
My body, my physical form is just aging, but
Mm-hmm.
that person she's still in there. So we're honoring her, is honoring me, is going to honor my desires, and that's going to make it more clear about what I want in the most unapologetic way, because it's my life. So when someone else is dictating or ruling your life and telling you how to behave, or suggesting how you should be, or suggesting the choices that seem to fit because of their perspective of you, their expectations of you. When you start living like that, you can never be happy. Like you can have all of the desires that you believe will bring happiness and still not feel it because you ain't living your truth. And my mother was always the one who advocated for me to live my truth. So whenever I'm on set, I always have to check in and say, do you want to be here? Do you still love this? Because if you do, bitch, let's go. Let's go. Because I know this is only a certain amount of time that we're all mortal beings. Like our likeness can be forever. And, you know, now with AI, you know, our voice and face and all of that can be advanced, you know, through technology. But the reality is in physical form, we're all going to perish. So I'm enjoying my life. I'm making my choices. I'm doing what I want to do. And I do not care. I do not care to explain it.
Wait. A lot of what you said, and you know, is in scripture.
Yes.
You know, the Sermon on the Mount, enjoy your life. There's also some scripture about, you know, remain childlike. So a lot of, you know, what you said, like, and however you get there, whether you get it through living your life or whether you get it through like studying scripture, you got it, you know, and that's, yeah.
And Spirit is telling me that that in these so-called lulls, which I don't think are lulls, you just, you know, perceive them as such, that you are cleansing yourself for the new roles and positions that you're going to hold. You are releasing some of these roles that you already have played, and you're going to expand and explore into the new roles and grow.
I had a friend tell me that. I didn't even know I was doing it. There is a benefit to fasting. There's a benefit
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
rejuvenation. I've heard some people say like rest is overrated, and it's a farce. It's a false narrative. There's no scientific nor spiritual evidence to support any of that. And the valley, that's what I'm, how I like to see it, because I physically live in the valley. It holds a lot of heat. So like, I could be, by the airport, and it could be 70 degrees by the airport. And as soon as you come up over that hill on the 101 or the 405, and you feel that heat, now you're like sitting in it. And you have to now wait for the climate to adjust based on
Yeah.
the. So if that's happening in nature, then it's happening in our body. We're a part of nature. We're all connected. And that, when you shift in that way, you then begin to operate differently. And so I began to understand that every component of my life, everything that I thought I could control, I had no control over. And the things that I could control, I began to focus more on. And that was my attitude. That is my relationship with myself and God in me. That is my, like you said, the spiritual principles. That's getting back to scripture. That's going back to all resources that have been available and accessible to us all, but particularly in my house. I look at Daily Bread that has the scripture. I'm listening to podcasts that are more based on, the spiritual laws. I'm
Mhm.
reading and looking at and I'm listening to mainly, like, I listen to a Malcolm X speech. I'm listening to or reading things that Dick Gregory gifted me with. It hit
Mhm.
me the other day. I worked on a film, and I was replaced. They recast my character, but I had the experience of working with Dick Gregory.
Mhm.
And to think about that, God chose me, like
Mhm.
me, to be the person that happened to be there in close proximity to this man towards the last quarter of his life. Like, clearly that's to impart some kind of wisdom, you know,
100%.
up to me to utilize that wisdom now that I'm accepting the maturation process in a different way and applying the shit he told me.
Yeah. All right. I wanna shift just a little bit. All right.
Let's go.
Okay. And I know I asked you this the first time, but you're still working and doing your thing.
What?
As an actor, and I don't want to put a sex or a race or anything on it. I know
Okay.
you love doing what you do, but for someone who might be looking to get into it, what are some of the biggest challenges? Or if there's anything you say, man, you know, man, I don't want to do this. You know what I mean? Like associated with maybe the business or maybe the business side of it. What is it that that you don't like about it, and then how do you overcome it, if anything? Maybe you like everything about it.
Oh man, I would be lying to myself if I said I loved every aspect of life. And the industry is just reflective of that. There are ups and downs. It's like any market, you have gains and losses. Um, I will say, in terms of the losses, so it's financial. That's one of the things I don't like about this business, how it's an industry that is full of people who are scammers, whose intention is to profit off of those who just want to pay to play. And it's not always as beneficial as people think, because the truth is, you know, it does take time, even with people that I've known dearly and have been in their lives from the beginning to the peak. There is still time after that we don't consider. We just consider that skyrocket peak as opposed to longevity. And so if you are looking to be in any career and you there's not a lot of desire to be in it for the long haul, then, you know, there's plenty of resources for that. But if you're talking about really mastering your craft, and that's my aim, that's always my aim, to master my crafts, but particularly the one for performing arts. If that is your mission, then that comes with class, that comes with studying real life. Like when I had no money, a lot of books that I read taught me of what to do in order to hone my instrument, and that's interact within the public, because nobody knows you. And there's some freedom to feeling like the stakes are high when you are performing publicly, and you have to face your inhibitions. Like you really have to like check in and say, okay, I am I going to commit or not? It's like it's a testing of commitment. And I feel like class and studying the craft is really the way to work that commitment, because you have to commit to memorizing the material, commit to character development, commit to whatever your process is, your tools. You have to commit to sharpening those tools like a surgeon would, like any professional. They have a certain amount of routines and rituals that they do in order to prepare themselves for success, and that is the same with our industry. Now I feel weird, I'm not gonna lie, because from my end, it's like both of your screens have icons. Is that is
Yeah,
what's
they can't see it on the YouTube though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when we go dark, you're getting a close up. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
I feel like I'm by myself. What happened?
Yeah, and don't worry about it. What's that guy's name? He's an alpha. He had the podcast, and then he was on YouTube. His rainbow porn came up. You know his name, but that's not gonna happen. We don't do that here. What was his name? But anyway, I'm gonna Google it.
I know his name. I can't even think of it because I'm laughing.
You said okay. Commitment.
Yes.
Okay. When I used to hoop, I was always committed. So it's funny you made me think, and even when you work, whether at a job, whatever you're at, those who are committed can sniff out the ones who are not committed, and they can sniff out the ones who are committed.
Right.
I promise you. And it doesn't take 5 minutes. How many times up and down the court, when somebody's not committed,
Right.
and they can say they're committed, you know what I mean?
Immediately, yeah. And we used to see it and we'd attack them.
Yeah.
They weren't on our team.
Not physically, but yeah.
In the court.
Right. That's important, right? Because that means that if we're all on the same team, and that was one of the things that I do love about how my journey began, which was in Black community theater. Like everybody is contributing to the ultimate outcome, which is we sell every ticket. We need all of these seats filled. And so that means that we're selling tickets. We're
at the
bringing
rehearsals.
Wardrobe.
Yeah.
We're sacrificing the hours from families, even sometimes bringing the kids to the theater because a daddy got to work or mama got to work or whomever has to work. And so the reality is it was communal. It's not as fiscally profitable for the artist. It's more of a spiritual and a craft factor that we have to consider, which has long-term value. So that's like investing in myself. That's how I believe I started investing in me, is the community theater.
You could see who wasn't committed. That's for sure.
Exactly. Being the stage manager for some theater companies, because they were like, well, we don't know if you can act. Yeah, you did this great monologue, but we already cast our whole season. So you could be the understudy, and then that means that you have to learn the lines. You're studying other people's blocking. You're watching how they respond to the director. You're seeing their vision, and then
You're
that
rewiring your brain. Go ahead.
right.
Your brain is wiring up to the ultimate job.
Right, exactly. And that's that at some point I'm gonna be in that position. And so then that's when you really see the commitment, because it's like, oh, are you just gonna commit to being in this position? Which, if that's the commitment, then that's a conversation that we have to have when we fall into the valley, right? Because that's, you can control moving out of this position. You can control getting out of the seat. Even if you can't control it physically in your mind, you can. I was just having that conversation with my cousin. There is a power to seeing, feeling, smelling, tasting, and believing that whatever it is you desire, you already have. So it's like living in an environment that you feel like is prison. It may actually be prison. How do you free your mind in an incarcerated state? And one of the things that I was thinking about was, I'm sure that's what the autobiography of Malcolm X is about. This is a man who absolutely experienced. Now, I will admit, I haven't read it, but I can imagine if he was incarcerated for a certain amount of time, he realized the freedom had to happen before he got back out, before he was released. So I suggest that it's like, I don't want to be in this environment. Okay, well, I know what environment I do want to be in. I do know what it feels like to be in that environment. Oh, this is how it smells. It's going to smell like home cooking. Oh my God, it's going to feel so good when I take off my clothes and I'm in that warm shower, and I don't have to worry about anybody coming to attack me. I know what it feels like to be safe. I felt safe before, and I know that that's a great feeling, to go into my closet and then to put on this beautiful cashmere, silk, satin, whatever the desire is that you want to feel. I know what that feels like. And then you automatically, it does something to your posture. It does something to your rewiring of your brain. Your wavelengths are like, dang, I do remember that, because you had to have that experience of pleasure at some point in your life. So it's like recalling that. And when I said it to him, when I've had this conversation, he was like, damn, cousin, I didn't even realize, I forgot that we can use all senses. The brain can access all senses. Growing up, I would always hear about Helen Keller, like how amazingly talented and gifted this woman was, because from the able-bodied being, she lacked she didn't have access to all of her senses. So how could she achieve such greatness as if she's not a full-fledged human being who will adapt to this available? And a lot of it is really creating it in your mind. You know what I mean? So I feel like that is how I have been able to get through all of that's been happening in our world. It's like, okay, what does freedom feel like? What does freedom look like? What does freedom taste like?
Well, somebody told me 95% of the world want to be rich and famous, but only 5% want to do the work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But some of those 5% may not even know like the work that it takes. That's why often it's easier for second and third generation people to kind of, because they got somebody driving them. Self's got a couple questions for you, and then we're gonna take a short break. Oh, my bad, Self. It's you told me Roland Martin. Air quotes said Roland Martini. That's the guy. Roland Martini. Big ups Roland Martin, man. I don't want no problems. I don't want no problems.
It's interesting. I don't, I do like to tap in. Like, it's always good to tap in, right? We always have to stay connected. And
100%. No doubt.
I was just watching a pre-recorded streaming service, And one of the things that was mentioned, and I will do my best to articulate someone else's perspective. I think that there are a lot of people who are as committed to the cause as I am committed to mastering my craft that are not getting the platform that could generate the kind of shift that can lead to this kind of conversation being more of the norm as opposed to a part of those that, just know. So a lot of the people, like you said, that don't want to do the work, may not know how to do the work. There are a lot of people who are committed to the work who are talking about it. And Roland Martin's show, there was a woman that is actually near to my heart. Her name is Tiffany Lofton Dina. She is committed to the cause, and she is one of the people that I always see is really, truly committed to freeing not just us from thinking that we're incapable of doing the work, but reminding us that we were born to do this work.
Well said. Well said.
Absolutely well said. Assuming, wait a minute, where am I at? That's
I said Tiffany Lofton Dina, Tiffany Dina Lofton, that's her name.
Tiffany Dina Lofton.
Spit it out, man. Spit it out.
I'm not sure where I'm at here.
All right, I got it.
What
All right, the Self Luv
initially-
Show has asserted that there's always been a targeted onslaught of copper-colored celebrities, right? For instance, the Diddler, OJ, R. Kells, Bill Cosby, Kanye, Jigga. I mean, we can go on and on and on. Meaning, whether they're guilty or not, whatever our personal assessment is, found guilty or later released from jail, whatever the case might be, it seems to dominate the news / the internet cycle more than our non-copper counterparts, such as, say, an Epstein or the other guy. I can't think of his name. See, so what's your take on this as a human being?
What's my take on what as a human being? On men being prosecuted for sexual crimes?
Yeah, that's your take on it. That's no. The fact that
I mean, that's what's because I'm logical, right? So we just gonna take all of them because you said as a human being. So that just means
well, Yeezy is in there. Kanye, I don't think he's had any sexual crimes.
No,
Jay-Z, OJ. What I'm saying is, it seems what we purport is that when our people are in the media, we're not perfect. We're not a monolith. It seems to dominate the news cycle. I can't go anywhere without somebody, no matter what color they are, mentioning the Diddler to me. And then I push back and I say, well, what about Epstein Island and what about this and that? What I'm saying, it seems like people of all races do those things, the essay, because I can start naming them.
Well, I'll say this. Every time one of our so-called counterparts is about to get in trouble or going through something, they parade one of us out front as the essence of the act. Every time.
public lynching is what you sound like you saying.
Yeah. I mean, instead of putting the counterparts out there, like Epstein, it was
even with
Kells,
fentanyl. When they make a fentanyl arrest, they show the copper-colored guy all over the media. It just it just feels to us as though it seems to be more highlighted, more magnified because we are copper-colored.
Right. Well, that's history, though. History has always shown us how the caste system is effective, right? Like, to me, it's an implementation of how the caste system works, and also the indoctrination of white supremacy. So I guess what seems to be a bigger question is that mentioning OJ, because you mentioned OJ, I can't speak on Jay-Z and Kanye because I don't even know what the prosecution towards them would be. I was just referencing those that I heard that were prosecuted for specific kinds of crimes, and you included white men too, and they were all sexual deviants per the law. But in terms of something like OJ, right? And this is something that even Jay-Z released art to express how white supremacy is constructed. And that there is always going to be a desire for people who feel like they are oppressed to push back. And we happen to do it as Black Americans, as copper people, we do it differently. So some of us do it financially, some of us do it through power, some of us do it through education, some of us do it through spirituality. But it still has to be some type of resistance. And all of those men, I'm sure, faced resistance, especially those who did not graduate from high school or did not go to Ivy League universities, because there is an apparent effect that an Ivy League education can have in a human being's life, period. So if you're not equipped with that, then how do you thrive in America? And when you're Black and as a human looking at it, it's gonna come with resistance. And a friend of mine said this, and I thought this was interesting. He was like, my uncle used to say, nothing pisses off a white man more than seeing a nigga with a shiny nickel. It's like,
Yeah. They used to say, brother reading a book.
right. So the reality is that you have a way to get out of your circumstances. You have something. How dare you have the right to have something? But again, if I am thinking that I deserve to have something, if I'm already operating with that, that's empowering, because that comes with a level of confidence and gravitas towards you achieving your ultimate goal, which is to not allow myself to be oppressed by your expectations of me, that I should only work in the field, or I should only work on the first floor. I should only be in the basement. I should only be given menial jobs. Those are realities for most of us that are copper.
Yeah, and I didn't really make our argument completely. It feels as though, because I was told this as a very young man in Chicago, right? All your heroes will be discredited and destroyed before you die. So we're told, climb out of the mud, right? Achieve ownership, own networks, go after NBC, go after, start revolt. And then I'll just leave it there. I'll just leave it there. I want to ask you, is there anything you think we can do better, though, as a community to, because I was always told, you got to be smarter. You can't, you know what I mean? Just as a Black man, like, you're always told you got to do everything better. You got to be at work earlier. Like, this is how we're conditioned.
Well, I feel like that so this is where in my mind I recondition. And I think it's just maximum effort needs to be applied. If I'm applying maximum effort and I already know that God is my source, then I'm already doing my part.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's an easy component. So maximum effort that's applied means that I believe that the work that I'm doing is going to garner results. So I'm a gardener planting a seed in the ground, and I'm believing that I have the conditions, the elements are supporting this particular harvest.
regardless.
Now, sometimes the harvest is affected by the climate. And so, I've heard people who are wine connoisseurs, they say, this particular year was impacted because there was a drought that season. That didn't stop them from pressing those grapes and having actual wine to sell. They still figured out a way to utilize what nature, the unforeseen circumstances, they were able to utilize them to their advantage. And so that's, to me, the shift that we can have is how to utilize the resources that are given to us. So again, that is making sure that when you're working with people in close proximity, that character is important. Being on time is important. Like, fuck if, being 15, 20 minutes early, be on time.
100%.
Even if it's I'm always the kind of person, like, I value people's time. I know that the time, there's currency to time, right? There's currency.
100%.
There's moments that happen, and there's time that's allowing these moments to happen. And so if there is a 5 a.m. call time and time management is an issue for you, then I got to be early. Because I don't always know how to allocate how much time it's going to take for me to get dressed and then go from my door to the car and then the car to the location and then a location to my trailer or the location to the office.
Right.
Like the location to the garage. And then now you're accounting for the fact that there might not be parking spaces available. So you're driving shit looking crazy. Because you didn't allow for time management. So that, to me, is the mindset of you have to be better. You don't have the liberty of having the excuse. So a lot of times that's what not being more fair gives you the liberty of having, to being able to justify tardiness or justify lethargy, justify being complacent. There's liberties to that, but this is the long game. I'm playing the long game.
100%. And it sounds like what she's saying is, okay, you may have a target on your back, but you don't have to put another target on your back. By showing up late, you know what I'm saying? Like, and
exactly.
And not doing what you agreed to do. Right now, you put 2 targets on your back.
Because the reality is, it's all a contract. Whether you're in the market buying groceries or you're at your job, or you showing up for this, is a contract. I was obligated to allot a certain amount of time to show up so that we can get this done. And then, it's the next contract that I may have. So if my word means nothing, then what kind of collateral offering?
And what's interesting, these types of what she's talking about is just synchronicity, and I'm not suggesting at all that she does this for any other reason but from her heart. But who knows? I could be the next Elon Musk, right? Tasia could be the next, but I'm not suggesting that's why you're doing it at all. But it's what you were saying at the top of the show. You're just living your life and having these experiences, and then, oh man, all of a sudden, and for any people watching, that's how that works. Like, so, keep your nose clean out here. Don't be a jerk all the time. It's unnecessary.
Absolutely. That's usually rooted in insecurity. And then that's a whole nother issue. You in your own valley, and I'm not obligated to help pull you out of that. I can impart wisdom on how to assist you, but that's your own journey. But even there's a certain level of ease that I know that I trust while doing this podcast too, because you've earned that, right? So there is reciprocity. There is an awareness that we come from the same city. We family.
Yeah,
So
the same little area too.
exactly.
Crazy.
Exactly. So that dynamic would be a disservice for me to toss that aside and not appreciate the history. You know what I mean? But I also know that I can't take advantage of that. I can't take it for granted.
Well, this is always your platform, but whenever you get your Oscar, we're gonna start running these videos, getting them in the algorithm.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like whenever you get your
all your awards, because more than Oscars are coming.
Yeah, we're gonna get them in the algorithm.
Yeah, exactly. It's dedication and drive.
Hey, hold up. That sound means we're gonna take like a 6-minute break. We want to get into the 6888, y'all, because we've been on some heavy stuff. So we're gonna get into her process. Self Love will tell you more about that. But we'll be back in six minutes.
Yes, y'all.
So that means that I got 5 minutes.
Yeah, you got 6 minutes. I'll stop your video and mute you.
Yes, y'all. Don't stop. We've gone through the updates. And y'all know how we do. We finna get into the meat and expansion. It was a wonderful update. I mean, my goodness. Expansion. I felt like I expanded.
Same.
As always, we have some very edutaining videos for you to check out while we stretch our legs. And we'll be right on back.
I wanted to do business. My brother became famous, and we had an opportunity to leave that world and go into another world. That opportunity came, hip hop hit. Charlie told my brother Eddie, yo, this is the wave of the future. This is going to be huge. Eddie did not believe that it's a fad and moved forward. And then there was an opportunity. I wasn't a rapper. It was an opportunity because of my brother's fame for me to get a recording contract with Clive Davis's company, with Arista Records. I could have been afraid and said, nah, but I've never been raised to be afraid. So I took advantage of the opportunity. And I did it. And I started learning how to write, learn how to rap. It was a perfect time. It was all, pretty much it was new. I went from being an artist to, we did some things with touring and merchandising. I touched a lot of aspects of Eddie's career, and then kind of just graduated to my own thing.
The mortality rates in blacks is skyrocket. It's absolutely crazy. The areas that we live in, because of redlining, areas we're in, we are financially handicapped because you cannot refinance your home or get the other opportunities that other people get. We have these food deserts that we have where you can't get the right foods to get nutrition. You don't get right nutrition, then how do you get the right education? We live in places which has poor access to transportation. We deal with implicit and explicit bias. We have institutional racism, which keeps black and brown people down. So if the government wants to do something and make policies, I think they need to have the correct policies to change the issues that we live in.
Brother, I'm wiping it though. I'm gonna wipe it. I'm gonna say, hey.
Tori's oldest brother. Between us, Tori made me at Beta, and so he just wanted to say a few words before we let you go here.
Okay. Yeah, Brother Thomas, thank you so much for gracing us with your appearance, man. Grateful. You expanded our nation beyond belief. It's just a wonderful thing. And we would like to present you with the Self Luv Show first annual Ernest Lee Thomas Achievement Award.
Oh man!
It's apropos that you are the first recipient.
And Noop, we call it the Raj.
We're gonna call it the Raj.
Oh, I love it. Oh man.
Yeah, so we have it on
God.
order. You know, so it's gonna come here. We're gonna show it to the show, and then myself or Tasia deliver it to you or ship it to you from there.
Thank you, brother.
Let me say this real quickly about my brother Kenny Young, because he's always been the ultimate optimist. Always. If we were the Avengers, he was always Captain America. He would find the positive out of anything.
Man.
Even when he ain't feeling positive, which that's what makes it so much dope.
Yes.
Because, and I didn't know that. I just assumed he was always positive. Like, oh no, he deals with his own shit. He's sapping up and saying, you know what? You need this positivity. I'm gonna deal with my shit too. In that level of optimism, man, he taught me how to be optimistic and how to dream and how to elevate the dream. You know what I'm saying? Because once again, being from Chicago, being a realist, I was looking at things like, man, this ain't gonna happen. This ain't gonna. I don't know about this. I don't know about all that.
And it's 40 below zero, 2 months out of the year. I need a roof over my head. I need a job.
I need
killing
this,
people
that. I need some gas in my car. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
He was very instrumental in me learning how to dream in a healthy manner, in a healthy, productive manner.
Next week on the Self Love Show. I don't know if you guys watch the show. What is it? The Shy?
You don't disrespect my house and my family like that. What the hell you think this is?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Look, man, no excuses. My father wasn't there for me either. And I thought that as long as I was providing financially, that I had to put in the time.
He also played on...
But my daughter couldn't see that. She couldn't see how disgusting this place is.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Chicago's very own. He's an actor out here, you guys.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I hear it's a, fantastic show. And
very good episodes.
We're going to sit them down and take them through the ringer, and then discuss the life in Hollywood as a black man.
This is going to be an expansive conversation.
Man, I thank you guys for inviting me on. Thank you. Great format, very solid. It don't have that low budget movie feel. You know what I'm saying? And we get that a lot in the black community, for real. Like people look at us to be fuck ups. They look at us to be low budget. They look at us to be ignorant, stuttering, and use a whole bunch of and all of that. But no, they got the real deal on here. That everybody know who Torian Mills is, baby. They know.
Hey, well, bro.
They're so ignorant.
Hey, but this platform's your platform. This platform's my platform. From Inglewood, California to
the
Chicago,
South Shore.
Crazy thing about it.
This platform is
made for you and me.
It's made for you.
The crazy
and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. I was trying to get out the end of the preamble, but go ahead, bro.
Yes, y'all. Don't stop. Self Love Show rocks on. Man, like we had expansive conversation already. I can't wait to see where this goes.
It's the Self Love Show, the Self Love Show, the Self Love Show. We do it for our people.
Hey, big ups Midwest Festivals. Y'all get out there, support Ancestral Echoes. Coming soon. It's coming soon. Please like, share, subscribe. This link. And I do want to just hit y'all with the views expressed in today's podcast for those of the hosts and guests that are not necessarily reflective of TATN or any affiliates. All right. As this brother just eloquently said, we're about to hop to it. Yeah, man, that was great stuff.
Great stuff.
All right, now we're going to
expanding your consciousness. Man, this conversation is for you.
Man, and if you're an actor or aspiring actor, it's for you. If you're a human being, this conversation is
inspiring anything. If you want to do anything, whatever your passion is, this conversation is for that.
Yeah, because I was thinking about one of the guys I knew, they used to get that work off, and boy, that grind. Well, don't you
Commitment.
sleep? Yeah.
The
Get a phone
commitment.
call, like, yeah, that commitment. Like,
Maximum effort.
yeah. You know what I mean? Like, wow. You know, and we like to say that commitment can be applied in anything, you know, more fruitful things for the community. Like, I bet you if you got you some fruit and you were selling some fresh fruit, and you was getting that call at 2 a.m, somebody wants some avocados or something, and you pulled up, you mess around, you know, been just as rich or, you know, successful. But all right, let's get on it. We want to talk about the 688. Okay. From what I see, and this is just me talking, this seems like a powerful, powerful, powerful film. Seems like y'all went out there and whoa, like it was a lot of pent up something going on, a lot of pent up history, and they was like, man, we're gonna tell this story, you know. And there's some things like, you know, the male, what the goals were, you know, and then how we always get in there and just it doesn't surprise me one bit. I want to say as a people and our women, that doesn't surprise me one bit. You know, and the people are shocked. Oh, they did that. I can't believe they did that. How'd you do it? Tell us your methods. We're gonna steal everything. But anyway, what initially drew you to the project, the 6888, and what was your reaction when you learned about the role you'd be playing?
What initially drew me to the project is that it was based off of actual real life heroines. These were women who I didn't know anything about. I love the research part of work, right? So it's World War II. I've watched a ton of films about the war, mainly male narrative, male driven stories. And when there is a role that's rooted in America's contribution to the war, the woman's character is typically an ancillary character, or she's the wife. She's, you know,
Subservient.
and she doesn't even have to be subservient. She could be in the position of being the nurse in the hospital ward. But, you know, it's still a secondary storyline. It's still to support this man's journey. And this wasn't that at all. This was a group of women, and 855 women who were dedicated to leaving their circumstances. So whatever those circumstances were, every woman has their own reason. But they left this circumstance, sacrificed that connection to serve the country. And the desire, obviously, is to progress the nation, because we're talking the 40s. So we're in the middle of World War II, and Black women are highly educated. This particular woman, her name is Charity Adams, is portrayed by Kerry Washington. Kerry Washington's character, Charity Adams, was a brilliant mathematician, you know, linguist. She had all these gifts and talents, right? So obviously she's committed her mind to advancing her community by bringing in her friend, which is the character that I portray. She's the XO, to complete this mission. And that's the thing, you don't know the mission until you've actually have been called, if I'm not mistaken. So the commitment is the first step. And so the story kind of follows this real life woman. She actually transitioned earlier this year. Her name is Lena King. She was 100. She lived to be 100, and I think maybe a few days shy of her 101, her 101st birthday. She transitioned.
Rest in peace. And I bet she'd go in there in the post office last year and would have kicked any one of those people's butts doing some mail, man. Even at 100, I bet she would have integrity. There's no integrity.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing that's interesting about that, right? Because, you know, we're talking about a time when the Army was not, they were not training women to be able to carry weapons. So the desire wasn't to actually fight in combat. It was to contribute to boosting the morale of the soldiers. But you don't know that when you've said, I'm going to apply my gifts, my talents towards a career in the military. It happened to be, this is the mission. And so once you've committed, you have to, commit to the mission. The mission happened to be that there were family members who were losing communication ties, and that was an issue. So you can imagine, like, we have advancements in technology where I'm actually able to see you through my computer, but we're talking a time where the only form of communication was letter writing. And so if you're on vacation, you're not vacation, but let's just say you're on your mission, whatever your mission is, and it takes you away from your home, from your wife, and you have no way to let her know, not just that you're okay, you've arrived to the destination, but also that you miss her, also that there's something that you want to celebrate, some epiphany you've had in this experience.
Tell my daughter happy birthday, you know what I mean?
Like you have to think about none of that is the connection. That's all severed. And it was too I don't
Killing
know.
morale. It was killing morale. Like,
Yeah, but it was like over a period of time. I want to say maybe like 10 months. I forget the length of time.
okay.
Over a period of time, you're talking tens of millions of mail pieces
Yeah.
of
I'm like, Tasia ain't writing me back. I'm sitting there feeling some type of way in the hole.
no packages, no,
Right.
no, she cooking you cookies, she cooking you your
Right.
favorite
I asked for cookies. Right.
candies, she going to the store bringing you something that to remind you that you're loved, and none of that is actually is available to you because it's in some hangar. And here's the
Rat infested hangar.
right, because it's exposed to the elements. So not just the rats, but nature. So it's like there's mold, and there's, the materials now disintegrating because of time and because of the weather conditions. And the military had to be convinced by Mary McLeod Bethune and Eleanor Roosevelt that there were not just women who served in the military, because there were women who were given this mission, but they didn't succeed. But there were Black women, Black and brown women who had actually sacrificed and chose to serve and would be proficient for this job because they were under the leadership of this brilliant mathematician. So she's everything that she learned from school, career, and now one of the things that I will say recognize, having worked on the film, is that's just where support and sisterhood comes in, because it's now like, okay, what do you have to offer? This is what I'm offering. So now we can work together, which is essentially what we were talking about earlier regarding reciprocity.
You the mathematician. Interesting. That's very
mathematician. Her character is the mathematician.
okay. Right. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that mathematician is able to look at the analytics and they just see things, you know what I mean, and do the math. Because I was crunching numbers. I'm like, man, all that mail, like how many letters were they processing each per day? I'm like, whoa.
They were given 6 months, and the 6 months was actually considered to be generous. And,
So did your reaction to your role change as you got more into the research?
yes, not just the research, but also the script. Because what I loved about this particular story is that there's value in sisterhood. So the Charity Adams, she wrote a book, and in her book, she articulates how committed all of the women were to fulfilling the mission, and those who weren't committed didn't go on it. So it goes back to what we were talking about, utilizing as much positive energy considering these circumstances because they were facing racism, ageism, sexism, all components that you can imagine when it comes to an obstacle, not just the hangars were rat infested, but the living quarters, the conditions, this is war. But there was still an aspect to these conditions that were not equal. They were quite separate. And that's a component that you have to work with. So it's, what drew me to it is the ingenuity that they utilize to fulfill the mission. And not just that. As I was working on this project, there was a woman who was a retired vet who was very vocal within the military in convincing that the leaders to honor these women, to commemorate them. The idea that you fulfill the mission, you're successful in it, and then you come home and you're not honored, you're not recognized, you're not celebrated. So now you realize, okay, this was just a part of my journey. Redistributing 17 million pieces of mail wasn't why God created me. So while that may just seem like a trivial act, that it was just the postal system, it was like, no, or these women were very crucial in advancing communication and boosting the morale of not just the soldiers, but the families at home. And that's America as a whole, because we participated in World War II and were successful. At least the
Hey, yeah,
battalion.
no, morale is everything. Do you feel, and if I'm asking you something that you could say, hey, just watch the film, what was the source of their commitment? Was it more, to prove that, hey, Copper Color can do it too and we can do it better? Or was it more really feeling the need and the importance of what you just laid out in the beginning of because she seems, she was emotionally connected to when you were saying, yeah, they need the letters and the cookies and stuff like that. What do you think? What was the commitment they were looking for?
I think we're as I think Black women historically are committed to doing the best job that we can do. Like that's the reality. When I worked at the phone company, I didn't like working at the phone company, but I still knew I needed to do the best that I could while I was there. I've committed to this particular task. Now you add a component to the military, which is you're committing for the benefits, and it's not just a check that comes with serving the community, serving that aspect of defense. So like we're talking the Women's Army Corps, we're talking the 40s. You're talking a time when there weren't other examples present, so there had to have been a component that's rooted in our DNA that apply to this particular commitment that has to result in success when you're working with people that are like-minded. So we're all on the same frequency. We all are on the same level. We're all recognizing that we want to accomplish this great task, whatever that task is, whether it's, doing a group project,
pledging a fraternity.
The slackers that were on the line that
they weren't committed. I'll just say that they weren't committed.
Hang on to you, and he gonna hang on to me and carry me over the line, as opposed to those who are like, we're gonna cross it together.
There
We're
you
gonna
go.
hold on to each other, but we're all carrying our own weight. It's even weight distribution here. So if I'm carrying my weight and I'm showing you that I'm carrying it, because there's a vetting process that happens within the military, particularly you see it in the film, the people who aren't cut out will decide to go in the direction that is intentional for them. But everybody else who was like, no, I want to be here. And I know that upon succeeding, if I get no reward, but knowing that I can accomplish a task, there's something mentally positive in that. Like you say, I am going to pursue this. Now I see that actually what it's like in pursuit of it. This is hard. Shit, this is really difficult. Damn, I didn't know this was this hard. Oh, I have now help. Now I can get to the finish line, and now I feel successful because I accomplished something that began in my mind. So I don't know if I could really answer that from their perspective. I could just answer it from a human perspective.
Well, I want you to think about this. And Karen, she helps produce. She sent us some footage of you back at the phone company. So we're going to show this real quick. But you know we had this, did you? But I do want you to consider the aspects, like what are some key aspects of the real life person that we're going to watch you portray, that you wanted to highlight in your performance. Like what part of that person did you feel that you wanted to highlight most in that performance? And give us a quick second. Karen's about to let's see here. Technology. I'm with you on this technology screen.
It's advanced. And so I've just learned, instead of apologizing for it,
Yeah.
I just embrace my ignorance and work to get better.
There you go. There you go. I always blame the programmers.
Ridiculous personas.
I regret my dance card is filled for the evening, but there's always the spring cotillion.
I'll tell you what I think. I think you hide behind all these disguises so you don't have to face the fact that the real you is an inconsiderate jerk.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how you treat people when you could blame it on Professor Edelstein or AT&T operator Sholanda Dykes. Speaking of which, that credit for my friends and family plan still hasn't shown up on my bill.
That credit was generated after your last statement. It'll show up on your next bill.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Thank you for choosing AT&T.
Enough!
All right. Yeah. we got a crack team that pulled that up.
Damn, I thought that was hidden forever.
That was yeah, we credited and don't all right, big ups to all the hard work. So what are the key aspects of the real life person that you're playing, that you felt like you wanted to highlight in your performance?
Right. So there wasn't a lot of material on her. Unfortunately, she didn't personally tell her own story. So I really did research I started with, the position. So we meet my character as a lieutenant, which means I am responsible for vetting out the actual women who wind up committing their lives to the military. I've never done anything like that. Like, I'm not Greek. I have not taught a classroom or a group of students. I don't find myself actively being in the position to command a group of people. So I had to learn that. I did apply a lot of the things like the awareness, the confidence, the drive, the the full throttle mindset of a soldier from Strike Back. So I'd done a lot of work Strike Back, where I played a Marine, Special Black Ops. And so I already had that. And so I knew I could do that. So I was like, if I could do that, then I should be able to do that in a period piece. And then I don't have to worry about, weaponry, all of the components that laws gave us. The laws gave us that. All of the things that I was able to do in Strike Back, I can apply it in my body. These women had to learn to fight. So that was one component that I knew needed to exist within my body. I worked with one of my castmates. Her name is Jonte. She actually served in the military. I wanted her to help me with commands. So I did the work in that capacity where I actively wanted to make sense of what I was saying. And that's just a thing. It's like new language. You know, if you have the time to learn the language, you'll sound more fluent. And so I dedicated the time to learn the language.
Hmm.
That's a commitment that we share. So if I'm willing to commit in that way, I know that Abby Noel Campbell would make those kinds of commitments. So that's well for me. She loved helping her friend. That was they had a genuine relationship. And one of the producers who actively campaigned to commemorate Charity Adams and these women, her name is Elizabeth Fraser Helms. I call her auntie. She's like a part of my extended family now. She gave me some insight that I loved. And she said that these women were like sisters in a non-competitive way, which I understood because I was raised by a woman who taught me that I didn't have to compete with anybody, male or female. You know, my greatest competition is myself and my ego. And so I applied that ideology to No, which was supported by the fact that she decided to put ego aside and commit to going on this journey with her best friend so that it made the Black race, the Black female community, and those who have low expectations of these women, it makes them look foolish. It makes them feel like they matter. It helps to make you feel like you're purposeful. I know what that's like. I know that there are people who had low expectations of me in the beginning of my career. They may have had low expectations of me in my 8th grade class. They may have had low expectations of me in 1st grade. But that doesn't mean that my expectations of me have to be low. And I don't think
Facts.
hers were either. I think they had high expectations because they came equipped with knowledge and awareness, and they were already decorated soldiers. They already came with all of the badges and honors to support that they deserved these kinds of greater missions than this, obviously, but at least a mission. You want to get called to duty. It has to be an active pursuit to be in duty in order for you to showcase that you can do the job. So it's no different from work experience, right? You need to show that you can do the job. And sometimes people don't expect that you're going to do a great job, but that doesn't mean you have to prove them right.
I'll tell you what.
Right.
We're gonna play the
You got another clip of me?
no, it's the actual trailer. We're not gonna play it right now though. But I just want to comment though. Yeah, you've never been in the military, but could have fooled me just from what I'm seeing, off the trailer and everything. I guess that's, basically what acting is, but it's very convincing. We need to have her go in there and put that uniform on and give a rally speech to the Bears Sunday before the Packers game.
Oh my
You know what I
God.
mean? That'd be a nice promo too. You know what I mean? They just got a new coach. Yeah, but I'm
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever, listen, I am a cheerleader at heart. That is another component that I applied to this. I'm always gonna root. I'm always cheer, specifically the underdog, and the Bears have been underdogs after the sweetness left. Okay.
yeah, big ups Walter Payton, the greatest ever football player ever. All right, what was it like working with Kerry Washington, both as an actress, and someone involved? Is she involved in the production?
He is an executive
Yeah,
producer.
yeah. So you're working with a coworker and a boss and another woman of color. So what was that like? Don't lose your job.
Right. Well, here's what's interesting. Here's what's interesting. Again, going back to the parallels between me and Abby, she had to do the same thing. She was a lieutenant. but Charity was the captain, right? So that's working in a position, a hierarchical position where you're aware that you have specific responsibilities and you cannot slack. And that's what it's like working with Kerry Washington, the specific characteristics and responsibilities that are expected. And I just can't slack. Like,
Bottom line, I can't do nothing but respect that, huh?
right.
Can't do nothing but respect it. You know what I mean?
But again, I'm very aware. I'm very self-aware. And I believe that me recognizing the position that I want to be in, I desire to be in, and I'm seeing myself in that position, I have to believe that I deserve to be there.
Mm.
The moment that Kerry and Debbie Allen, who really contributed to us being in uniform, we needed the front line to be as strong as possible. And that was like the main cast. So Debbie Allen was very crucial. She and the military advisor, his name is Quay, they were very crucial in ensuring that that front line was strong, right? And so she's in that part of that front line. She's just as committed as I am. So I have to know that, there is a reason that I'm here. Now, why will always show up. And a part of that, I think, is she and Debbie came, there was we had to halt production because of the weather. And they came to us, those that were on set that day, and just wanted to sit around and really have a talk, a open discussion between women. And I really have to say, it was in that moment that I had the epiphany, seeing Debbie Allen, a woman whose career I've followed damn near my entire life, recognizing her from Good Times and seeing something in her that I saw in myself, which was there was a groundedness and reality that I was attractive to me. And now I'm sitting across from her being led by her direction in terms of movement, all of those components I saw growing up. So there's a reason that I was a student in the fine arts through many mediums, not just through theater, but through film and through television. And so to have this experience go from in front of the camera to behind the camera in this one isolated moment gave me full autonomy to run. And that's just like to the destination. And that's a wrap.
All right. Well, what was the black woman conversation? What was y'all talking about? You ain't...
Well, I will say what I will absolutely share my part. My thing is, as a woman, I desire to balance my personal life with my professional life in the most successful way. And the reality is that where you see maximum effort, you will see some results. And so again, if I'm in a relationship, when I'm in a relationship, my next relationship that I'm in, maximum effort is applied to my personal life now, then I'm going to continue to apply that maximum effort to me in a relationship, which is going to garner a much different result than me applying minimal effort, and I do feel like that's a delicate thing to do. We're not always taught that. I wasn't taught that. I was raised by a single parent. My mother absolutely showed me how to become an independent woman, and I love her for it. And she is now reminding me I can ask for help.
No doubt.
So, like that was what the discussion was about, was figuring out, how do I ask for help? What does that look like? Outside of me saying I need help, what's the best way to articulate that? And it's being honest. Some things are just going to be sacrificed. And, if you're not married, then that sacrifice will show up in some way.
100%, 100%, 100%. Okay, so who was the director?
Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry.
So you wasn't all right, never mind. Big ups Tyler Perry. All right, so can you describe your experience working with TP and the rest of the crew on the set? Like, how did their vision and collaboration influence or marry with your performance? Because in sports, coaching and direction matters. It matters. So I'll just throw that out there. And so some of those guys were committed when they were pledging. They just weren't committed enough. Just wasn't committed as much as you were. That's all.
I mean,
but they show up in a position, right? Because you're given a number, right?
Yeah.
No.
Well, they don't get. Well,
no, they don't make a number. They were not committed. You could say they were marginally committed at best and weeded out.
Right.
Okay.
That's what they weren't committed. That's what the bottom line is, because they weren't there at the end.
Right. Well, I will say the interesting thing about this particular project is, when you're dealing with real people, real Black women and their stories, there's a certain level of integrity that you have to have, because, people want to tell their own stories. And if they're not able to, they want their story to be told with the utmost grace and value. So when you ask me, like, what did I get working with all of these people together, Tyler and Kerry and Ebony Obsidian, who is, a fan favorite on Sisters. And then there's some beautiful other actresses who have done stage and films and television shows, and, all of these parts, what is that moment like? It's like that on every set. Like, there's a synergy that's always going to be present when people are committed to an art form. And everybody has their own style. And that's what I've learned, even working. This is my second time working with Tyler. And I've worked with directors before who like to be a bit more hands-off to see how you explore the character, and then they'll structure their idea based on your choices. So it was some of that, absolutely. But I can't say necessarily that there was a lot of scenes that I had with other actors in the film, because if they didn't come to the sets when we were working, I didn't have an experience with them. So my experience was really solely committed to those who were in the Army, so all in the Army, then we know we have to be uniform, and we're going to show up to rehearsals, and we're showing up to practice, and we're all going to be on the same page with making sure that this looks as crisp and professional as possible. I think I heard one of your on the break, one of the guys was saying, like, the low budget aspect of a film, specifically with Black filmmakers. And even though Tyler has the wealth that he has, this is still a Netflix film, and they are working with Tyler Perry, who wrote and directed and is a producer on this film, with Kerry Washington as the executive producer. And they all have the mission is to make sure that these women are honored, because you have to remember, they weren't honored by America.
Yeah, until 2018, I think.
2018. And that came from a Black American woman saying, I was in the military for years and I didn't know anything about these women. Why? So if that's what we're dealing with, there's a level of credence that you have to have when you're telling that kind of story. You can't slack on that. And also, with the desire to just continue to remind America that Black women do contribute to building this country too.
100%.
Oh,
To
absolutely.
build in the world, there's nothing without Black women. None of this is here without Black women. In my mind, none of it.
Copper colored.
Yeah, copper colored. Well,
Yes,
so-called Black women.
Yeah, so-called Black women. They're the foundation of the planet.
Right.
But keep stacking though, because you were talking about like your interactions with Debbie Allen, and just made me think back. I remember the better athletes. I asked Tori how he did a couple things, but I was already out of high school. I didn't play after that. But whereas I might be talking to a player, no matter how good they are after the game, good game, blah blah blah. The better athletes are asking, man, how do you do that move? And they'll show you. And when you're working, sounds like people are willing to show you, at least they're directing you and they're teaching you, and you're still stacking. Just like when you started in high school and you start getting your first lessons, you're still getting those and you're still stacking, and you're still stacking on those lessons. Keep stacking them.
I think TV was a huge component to the element of stacking. I can't negate the power of work. The more you do something, the better you are in not just the skill set, but in your awareness of how to handle the skill set. Because work hours matter when you're focused on a specific intention. So if you're like, I'm just doing this job just because, listen, perfect example. I'm at the theater. I'm at the movies, at the show. We call it the show. So you know what this is. I'm at the show in Culver City, trying to figure out what movie I want to see. It was election night, actually. I just didn't want to deal with the traffic and everything that was going on. And I like to escape through cinema. So I'm in the theater, and there's a movie that comes up, and it's an interesting story. It's called Honora. The guy who works behind the counter, I asked him what the film is about. He says it's about a sex worker. So I was like, oh, okay, like Pretty Woman? He was like, no, I don't know about that movie. I just started working in the theater a few months ago. So I think I missed that one. So then I had to take a breath, because this was one of those moments where I'm like, okay, this is an age thing. I said, well, it didn't just come out. I said, you don't like movies, do you? He was like, no, not really. You just here for the check, aren't you? He was like, yeah, I am. So this is an example, right? So he is in a position where he could educate himself if he was interested in the cinema. He could educate himself on culture. He can expose himself to a lot of different things because he works at the theater. Instead, he's looking at it like the hours. I'm here because I want to check, and not here because I'm on a mission. So when you're on a mission and that mission is driving your choices,
the check will come.
The inertia, the energy is going to be powerful. Just the act of doing it is enough power. The outcome, those are the controls. That's the part of the shit you can't control. But the inertia, the energy that you're putting forward to completing that mission, that's going to ignite a positive result, because that's just the law of attraction. I guess, whatever.
That was powerful. And speaking of powerful, Self's got, and we got you. I know your time's valuable. We got you. We only got like 2 more questions, okay, and then we're gonna get to the quick stuff. But I just wanted to run this. Trailer, y'all. Y'all support this. That's I didn't. Hold on, let me kill this. Wow. You need a dean of pledges with some balls like that. Motivate the guys that want to run through the wall like this. You guys always talk about commitment. That dean's got to be committed to. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. All right. Self Love's got a couple questions for you, but go ahead. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, I was saying that's really true. I was just letting that permeate. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Commitment from the top. That's very crucial.
And she was committed from the top. She's committed. Again, her name this is her starring vehicle. Kerry Washington hasn't had a starring vehicle role since Lift, which is her very first independent film. So she's had lead roles, but she has not had a film where it's starring Kerry Washington until now. So there is a certain commitment and dedication from the top that has to come from knowing her name is on that.
I know those words were because she felt like that about the whole project. You know what I mean? So when she's giving those
Executive
lines,
producer.
yeah,
She's gonna
bro.
have those lines.
It was like perfect, bro. I'd have been
Yeah.
like, "You some bitches," you know. Excuse me.
You know what I mean? That's
Oh yeah, wasn't much research for that.
No,
because she was killing that. Go ahead, bro.
What were some of the most memorable or challenging moments during the filming of 688?
Most memorable, I will say, is working in London and the actual city. I was privileged. You saw a scene where we're in an actual building that was in London. I was able to work there. Not everyone was able to work there, so that was very memorable for me, as well as working in other parts of England. To be able to be in a all copper and biracial, this is a few biracial women who are in the cast as well, to see all of these women, some of them never being able to work out of the country until this project. I've had the privilege of working out of the country through Strike Back, but to be in a film is different. That's where the challenge comes in, because usually when you're gone, you get an opportunity to be able to travel home if you need to, because you're gone for a X amount of time. And so it was kind of challenging. Thankfully, I had my godmother. She came and she stayed and spent some time to visit me. And when I was in Atlanta, but obviously not London. So when I was in London, it got I had to become a more serious explorer. I had to find the comforts of home in a land far away, and that's challenging. It's challenging, particularly because I've traveled and I've been to London before, so it's not like that was a new experience for me. So that was a little challenging.
Okay, how did that impact your perspective on the story you were telling?
What these women were going through. I'm telling a story of women who traveled abroad in the 40s. My character had never, this was, first time flight. So I can appreciate what it feels like to commune with familiar faces when you're in a foreign land, when you're treated like a foreigner. And a lot of times I did feel like I was treated like a foreigner, even though I knew I deserved to be there, so this is parallel to what these women experienced. Now, the difference, unfortunately, is there was less racism internationally than there was domestically for them. There was still a difference, but during that time, you're sophisticated. There's a sophistication to Black Americans traveling in a period where they weren't seen as having a right to vote.
There was a grace and a composure. We dressed up when we went to the airport, but go ahead.
Yeah, but what we're talking I'm talking because this is a flight that's chartered through the military. So uniform is the ideal outfit. It's the only
our outfit has always been our dignity and our presence. So
yes,
saying from within, we all
the grace, the composure, hold your head up, in the face of that.
Well, yeah, that's interesting. You say that. That's interesting. That's true. That's true. But I do recall there was an instance where I was waiting to be serviced for dinner. And I was standing at the hostess stand, and there was a woman behind me, and she had a stroller, and the woman thought that I was her nanny. The hostess thought that I was the nanny to the woman behind me, and my dignity and my grace. And I was shocked, and then I remembered, oh, you are not accustomed to seeing women that look like me here for work outside of being in a position of a caregiver. And so there is a component to the prejudices that are carried. And again, that's just again rooted in the caste system and racism. That's just reality. So there is, those are things that these women experience as well. So I'm just remembering that I now have the power to exert energy to occupy someone else's space. I don't have to eat here. I can go to another restaurant and patronize that business. As opposed to this is a part of my job, and this is what we have to do until the mission ends. So I think that's the best way that I handled it.
That was very composed. Now if I was to write your life story in that scene, you're going to tell her, yeah, I'm your nanny, B. You're going to punch her like FBI movie. All right, so go ahead. I'm your nanny.
I don't know. Nobody's ever thought it was interesting. I actually I wasn't a nanny because I didn't take care of the kids. They had their grandmother. Their grandmother was the primary nanny of the family, but I did care for someone's kids in my 20s when I first started. That was like my first job. So it wasn't so much that I was offended that she would think that I would be a caregiver, because I'm a nurturer.
Right.
My nature.
That's right.
Could see that upon sight. But I was just like, why would you think I was working for her?
Right.
Like,
right.
she had me. You know what I mean? Like, we together. And then I just, like, wouldn't I be pushing the baby's carriage? Like, you know what I mean? Just in my mind.
She knew you wasn't the nanny. She just wanted to, have something to say. That's why I'm like, I'm your nanny, and this meal's going to be free, or you're going to go very viral, Karen.
Viral. We did that earlier.
What have you learned?
What have you learned about yourself as a result of the project?
I'm resilient. I am a cinephile. But I already knew that, but I really knew it with this project because I wanted to stay in the period. So I watched a lot of films, and I realized how much I actually love films, and I learned how to counteract resistance. I surrender. I learned how to navigate material that wasn't in my wheelhouse. I'm doing things in this particular role that I've never done. In any other character that I've portrayed, I've not had an opportunity to show all of the components of my instrument. But this project lets me do more of that. And I loved that I learned that in this movie, that it really is, it's a marathon, it's a marathon.
All right. Would you say you've learned how to ask for help as well? I know you mentioned that was earlier.
Yeah, from this film?
Yeah. Or did it help in that in any way?
Yeah, asking for help, absolutely. Yeah, because I again, I had to ask a castmate, one of my cast members or castmates. I said it right the first time. One of my castmates, I had to ask her for help. I had to ask other cast members for help. I made myself available for a lot of the young ingenues. We have Shanice, Kylie, oh, shit, I'm about to get myself in trouble. Mariah, Sarah, Peppy and Jonte. Damn, am I forgetting somebody? These are all women, young women who, absolutely appreciates experience. And I was able to give that. That's something that I always would like to extend myself, even if, it may not be a lot of time because we are filming different schedules. We have different, times that we're working. So it might not necessarily always been on set. It was sometimes outside of work, being a prayer warrior, being able to stand in solidarity of helping somebody through a troubling time. Like, to me, those are all the components that I believe I had to contribute to this project, but I also received it. I had to ask for that, to express that I don't really know how to do this. Can you tell me how to do this? Because I need some help. It was interesting. One of the conversations I was having with Kerry Washington, when my godmother came in to stay with me, it was like one of the first times where I had to share this particular small space while I was working, and it wasn't like my mother. And she was like, maybe God is preparing you to share your space with the person that you'll be spending your life with. And I thought that that was something that I learned. I was like, wow, it's interesting because I've not had the experience yet of being in a relationship where I'm on location, and then I have to have my personal life show up, and support me in this professional way. And, that is a part of where I desire for my life to go. So I have to be prepared for that. And I felt like I learned that that comes with any relationship. So me sharing my space with her in this time where it was like challenging. She got to see all of my little notes, and like she got to see some my process. There is some vulnerability in that. I don't typically, like, most people don't see it. So the fact that I had to share that, I learned that people, that helps them to be supporters.
All right. So do want to ask you one question.
Okay.
If you could pick, who's your ideal person for president of the United States outside of Kamala or Donald Trump?
I don't know. I can't. I honestly, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I am a person that I read when it comes to voting, I take it very seriously. Okay. So I am actively engaged in the economy. I am actively engaged in investing in markets. So I am always looking at the news that's not typically local. I am looking at finance charts. I'm looking at marketplace, Kai Rizdal. I'm listening to NPR. I'm looking at all kind of news feeds. Like, I expose myself to as much knowledge that I possibly can, and then I do my part. Who's voting for president? I mean, running for president, or who should run? There are people who are political science nerds who can give you a better assessment in terms of a candidate. I go by logic and who does it benefit most. And I am always rooting for the community, the underdog. And my inclination is to lean towards those who look out for people who look like me.
That is fair. That is fair. That is well said. All right, enough, y'all. Let's get to some esoteric fun. All right, here's $1 billion question. Go on this thought experiment with me.
Okay.
Suppose Elon Musk
Oh shit.
said that he's got the science to figure this out, and he offers you 1 billion tax-free dollars. It's going to go into your Venmo account. You can, for instance, do with it what you want. You can give 500 million to your mom, you know, whatever you want to do with. You get this money at midnight. In exchange, when you wake up tomorrow, you're going to be 10 years older. You haven't lost 10 years. Your mom isn't older. Your friends aren't older. Tasia isn't older. I'm not older. You're just 10 years older, but you got a whole $1 billion that you can produce a whole lot of film. You know, you could, you know, it's a whole lot of projects about copper women that haven't been done. We can dig out of there. Do you take the bread?
No, you said he cutting 10 years off him. I don't know what that 10 years consisted of. I don't know what happened in that 10 years, and the fact that I'm the only one that aged, I don't trust it. I can make all the films within that 10 years that I'm aware of, and I want to be awake for that process. No, don't shut off no time of my life. No.
All right. I push back. I say, you know, we don't know if we're going to live another day, nevertheless 10 years.
You're just physically 10 years older. You're
That's
not,
all.
no time has passed.
That's all.
No time has passed.
Now, let me say
You're
this.
just physically 10 years older.
Age is just a number, but the
Your body.
My body, all I'm saying is something has happened in exchange. There's
He's gotten 10 years younger and you've gotten rich.
Well, outside of that, see, that's just from a fiscal perspective. I'm always looking from a much greater, and that's typically spiritual perspective.
Okay, well, the data shows 6 out of 10 women polled will not take the money, but almost every guy takes the money. So we can talk about all the other things, you know, but that's just what the data shows. The younger a person is, the less likely they are to take the money. The super rich are just as likely to turn down the money as the very poor. I mean, it's 50%. So, you know, they got their reasons similar, you know, but all right, we'll move past that.
Yeah,
All
they're
right, here's
super rich. So they don't need the $1 billion is not that.
That's what the half, right. But the other half say every billionaire they know is miserable. That's what the other half, the ones who say no, they say those people are miserable. But I always push back and say, well, that's because they're entangled with investors and entangled with the board. The board comes in there with their suits on, business suits, you know what I mean? And your billion is free and clean. But she doesn't want the money. She don't want the money, Elon.
Not from Elon Musk. See, you have to understand the source is always yes to my source. I'm always gonna say yes to my source.
100%.
Source, no.
100%. And speaking of Elon, are we in a simulation, meaning there's a super civilization that has created these computer models and we're just part of a computer model? Or are we living in base reality? Reason I ask the question is because it's all over the internet and guys like Brother Wordsmith there believe that we're in a simulation. So it's a fair question.
Well, I can see that simulations is created in the mind, right? So programming. So it sounds like to me, you're saying that am I living in a programmed state? And I don't technically, I don't know. I pondered this question quite a bit.
Right? You know what I mean? Like if you were programmed to believe that you don't live in a programmed state, then you're still part of the simulation.
Yeah. So how would I know? So the only thing that I could say is we won't know until we know.
All right.
Sure. I just want to say for the record, I don't believe that. I know we're in a simulation. He knows that we're base reality, but I know we're in a simulation. I don't believe it. These words are spells, so I don't deal with someone putting upon me a belief.
Okay. All right. If you could change your sex, would you remain female or become a man?
I love being a woman. Why change it? I love it. I'm coming back as a woman, and then I'm coming back as a woman, and then I'm coming back as a woman.
Well, I heard that men come back as women and women come back as men because that's the balance. And if you were, you know, a terrible man, then you're going to meet terrible women and vice versa. I mean, you know what I mean? So, all right. But all right, next, if you were forced to either become a man
I'm forced.
or become a non-copper person, European, which would you choose?
You saying the choice is a black as a copper man and a non.
Yes, you'd be a copper man or
Man, that's my second choice. Second choice is
okay. All right. All right. We got to ask these questions.
copper woman is copper man.
All right. We got to ask these questions. All right. We're going to go to the self-love arc. You've played this game before, and then we get you out of here. It only takes 2 minutes. I got to find the clock. So, but we got different pairs. So I'm going to give you a pair of items, and you just have to select which one you choose out of those 2 items. You can pass 2 times. I suggest you save those passes because I know how these questions are set up. But you can pass 2 times and without losing. You pass the 3rd time, we consider it a fail.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, he's gonna give you a womp womp womp, and we're gonna put it all over the internet.
That's
fine. All right, Karen, get off the phone. No, that's my neighbor. I know he's black. All right, we're gonna
so-called black.
Yeah, there you go. Well, that's what she's calling him. All right, here we go. In-N-Out Burger or Chick-fil-A?
In-N-Out.
You don't know nothing about that, Brother Wordsmith.
No.
Michelle Obama or Kamala Harris? Michelle Obama, who's from the South Side, close to where you grew up at.
Say, I gotta go with the Shy. I gotta go with the Shy, Chicago. So I'm gonna say Michelle.
All right. We got to stop leading the witness.
Yes.
All right.
You're assuming I don't have an opinion.
You're right. That's wrong of me. That's wrong of me. All right. Eminem or Tupac?
Oh, God, come on, man.
Shit. Right. Dr. King or Malcolm X?
Dr. X.
Dr. King or Malcolm X?
Dr. X. I'll take them both. But obviously, I have a preference, but I don't want to take them both.
So that's a pass?
Yep. Okay.
All right. The Surgeon General of these United States or Dr. Sebi?
Dr. Sebi.
Somebody's going to start calling her a wacky conspiracy theorist. All right. Kanye West or Jay-Z?
Just on GP, we're not talking producing, we're not talking rapping, we just talking just name
whatever. Kanye West or Jay. Who'd you say?
Jay-Z.
Wow. All right. Anarchy or tyranny? Anarchy, people running all over the place, doing donuts in the street.
She knows what these words mean.
I just gotta ask her. Busting in a 7-Eleven, grabbing stuff and running, and the prices going up. Or tyranny, government officials doing what they want and treating you like this is Russia or China.
Peace. I'm a pass.
Okay, fair enough. Chris Brown, aka Breezy, or Usher, aka Ursher?
Oh Lord, Jesus! You want to do this to me? Chris Brown.
Breezy. Okay. Salt or sugar? What'd she say? Sugar. Okay. All right. Democratic Party or the Republican Party?
Democratic Party. I don't even like that question because I'm an independent.
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah.
All right.
Me as well.
Yeah. Build the wall or open superfluous borders?
I'm a pass.
Last one. How many passes do we have so far, Self? Just one?
No, I got 2. I got to answer this next one because I said.
Oh boy. Kerry Washington or Viola Davis?
Oh.
I wonder.
I'll give it to Vi.
All right, that's fair. Look. love the honesty. Love the honesty. You know what I'm saying? And big ups to Kerry Washington, Viola Davis, and you for doing this.
And
You got
Shondaland, I have to say Shondaland because you just a full circle moment
go
again.
ahead.
It started with Kerry Washington and Scandal, then Viola Davis. I was able to work with Viola Davis on How to Get Away with Murder as her nemesis, and able to work with Kerry Washington now as her ally. And Shondaland, Shonda Rhimes was a huge contributor factor for all of us being exposed to the world in a way that we had never been exposed before. And that's as human beings. That's all I got to say.
And one thing I wanted to remind everybody, this young lady appeared on the show a couple years back. We got into a whole lot of real stuff. So, you know, if y'all want to go there, like we take everybody through the ringer. So if you watch us saying they didn't take her through the ringer, you know what I mean? These guys, you know, they get on there and don't take, she's been through the ringer, so she doesn't have to go through the ringer again. Everybody goes through the process. It's a process, right, so?
Absolutely. And it's an expansion upon the nation and all of us with our spirits and souls and why we're here. That's why we do this. Because, you know, we, ask very specific questions in the initial, and then we expand upon it. And there's been a lot of expansion. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we talk about the More Growth and Development Program, you know, rebuilding communities, and, you know, she cares about that. So we just wanted to make that known, and hopefully y'all can go back and check that out as well. You got any big ups, any final words? MJ return. That's like Michael Jordan. And she said something about Save the Last Dance. Oh, no. You know, Save the Last Dance, not The Last Dance, but Save the Last Dance. My mom was a extra in that too. Rest her soul. She sure was. Yeah.
Scene.
Yeah.
What scene?
Oh man, that's a good question.
funny.
Don't give me the line. I had to ask my siblings. I know my brother Dave
you remember?
knows. But yeah, she's talking about that all the time. Went down there and she was extra. Yeah. My mom had chops.
Facts.
Yeah, she had chops.
Special being. Oh my God. Whew.
Yeah, but
very special being.
Appreciate that. Final words, Milauna, or any shout outs, big ups, and then we appreciate you.
Oh no. No. Thank you. Thank you for extending this connection.
And thank you for doing this. You know, third time's the charm. So that's going to be, you know, after you get your second Oscar, you know what I mean? And then we'll go to the moon.
Okay.
Yeah.
On that one. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Appreciate you. As Self Love says, love, honor, and respect.
No doubt.
Thank you so
that
much.
was awesome, bro. Just like I figured, man. That was awesome.
Man,
it's good to get the it's good, and it's always good to get the female perspective, you know, on things. You know
yeah,
I mean?
Always.
Yeah.
But it's always great bringing people back, because I mean, we invite expansive people, and when they come back, they've expanded.
I was an extra too, but I walked off the set.
And it's exciting every time. Every time. It's a blessing.
Yeah, it's crazy. Tasia was an extra too in that film, but she said she walked off the set. She probably
No
meant,
doubt.
yeah, she probably
I heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that was fantastic, man. You know, I mean,
man.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And to your point, we got to start doing the second round. I reached out to EP to see if you know what I mean. We got to have EP too, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Trife Mac, get some guys.
Definitely Trife. Oh man, because he was that one got lost.
Yep. Man, it was a bunch of clips I had, but
yeah,
that one got lost, man.
No, he got to come back.
The one with my mom got lost.
Yeah.
Devastating. All right, but y'all, we're gonna get to this poll question that we asked. And the poll question was, why are Democrats losing Black and Latino voters? First choice, Kamala Harris, or bad candidates? No one said that. I found that interesting. Too much smug virtue signaling. No one said that. I find that interesting. I thought I was going to get a lot of those first two. Migrant funding, economy, and other tone-deaf policies. 75% of the respondents went for that. 25% of the respondents said it's misogyny out there.
Well, I'll just say this. That there could have been multiple choices. If you could have chose all the ones you wanted to choose, then it would have been some of the others. But misogyny, I think some women who were programmed to say that said that. But
well, I don't know, because are women? I don't think women are leaving the party in droves.
No, but just women saying that's the reason why it's the problem.
Okay.
Because they're saying it's men. It's saying it's us.
Well, you think they'd be leaving if all they heard about was jock itch and things that affect men only? Prostate, can't get your prostate surgery.
I would think that they would definitely pick.
I'm saying if that's all they heard about.
No, they heard about everything else. But they only honed in on we wouldn't vote for a Black woman. So misogyny is, I'm just saying.
Well, I personally predicted the last 4 presidents, and no one bothers listening to me, and I predict that just by talking to Black men. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'll just say that.
I picked it on who ran against the redhead, orange or whatever he is. Pardon me, red.
You gotta watch
orange
it.
Guy.
That guy's gonna be back in MAGA. It's about to run rampant. If you get shot out there by 12, don't you be reaching out for no woman folk to help you. It's funny too, because
I voted for everybody. I hope everyone in the Self Love Nation know that I don't really believe in the presidential vote. I vote for a Tory wordsmith every time, since I've conceived that that's not even a real vote because of the Electoral College has been put in place. It's there's maybe 10 states, swing states, so-called, whatever, that decide to vote every time, and most places.
I'm just gonna say this: if I don't,
from my point of view,
if I'm not, if I'm not able to sway you to vote my way, and when you come out of the polls, give you attitudes, because that's what the feminist movement was about. Giving women a right to vote and make their own choices and decisions. And so because you have that, I'm not going to have it.
Well, they got that, legally.
No, I'm saying, but you see my point.
We didn't have that for women. Women had that first.
What, women had the right to vote before men?
Before Black men or non-landowners.
No, I don't think so. I think they put it all in the same. The white women got in with the Black people's right to vote. No, I don't know.
I don't know. 1919, and we were still trying to.
Well,
we had the right to vote.
Whatever
first.
The case,
you are right. First, yes, we did.
Yeah,
and then
whatever the case might be, right. But whatever the case might be, if I don't have any right to dominate or judge you on how you vote, whatever decision you made, you know what I mean? I just don't think it's fair for people to judge Black men and just say it's misogyny. You know what I mean? Like, if a woman didn't vote for Obama, I wouldn't say if a Black woman didn't vote for Barack Obama, I wouldn't say you don't like Black men.
Well, I'm just saying it's stupid.
And she's raising Black families, and he's got Black kids. Yeah, right. All right, but let's wrap this up. As we wrap up today's podcast, we're immensely grateful to have had the chance to speak with Milauna Jackson. Her journey from the early stages of her acting career to her standout role in the upcoming the 888 film. This journey is nothing but inspiring. Her commitment is awe-inspiring. Her dedication to her craft, combined with her passion for the community and advocacy, continues to leave an indelible mark on Hollywood and the Self Love Show audience. Throughout our conversation today, we talked about the historical significance of our women not being recognized in the 68th, 88th Central Postal Directory Battalion. It's literally who they are. All of you can do your own fact checking and due diligence. I don't know, but it might be better to just wait and watch the film because you don't want any spoilers out there. And then after you watch the film, maybe dig into it. It's on Netflix, Christmas Day. The experiences and challenges Milauna faced while filming and her insightful approach to building her character, we unpacked. Her reflections on working with Kerry Washington and the entire cast have provided a behind-the-scenes glimpse into the making of this powerful historical film. Her ability to bring authenticity and depth to her roles and to this podcast is a testament to her talent and perseverance. We once again want to extend our heartfelt thanks to Milauna for sharing her story with us today. Her candid reflections and invaluable insights have not only enriched our understanding of her work, but also should inspire us to appreciate the resilience and courage, hint, hint, courage depicted in the 6888. As we continue to explore these meaningful narratives, we look forward to more captivating conversations and inspiring stories that celebrate the extraordinary journeys of remarkable individuals like these women depicted. Thank you, Milauna, for your time and your expertise. If you guys enjoyed today's discussion, please like, subscribe, repost, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, remember, stay curious, stay informed, stay engaged, and most importantly, stay true to self. Show some love to yourself and everyone around you. Remember, ask not what culture can do for you, but what you can do for culture. Silence is still violence, and as always, question everything. This is the Self Love Show. The Self Love Show ain't Kansas, Toto. Peer down those rabbit holes and do your own research. Use caution and discernment because sometimes when you stare into that abyss, well, the abyss is going to stare right back at you. Peace, self-love, honor, and respect. All right, bro. Let's go ahead and answer this riddle. Let's see here. I stand tall in the face of fear, though you may not see me here. Through struggle and strife, I lead the way. A guiding light, both night and day. What am I, Brother Wordsmith?
Courage.
Courage. Surprised you got that because I could have thought a whole lot of other things.
No, I felt it right away.
Yeah. I mean, it's attached to the theme of this podcast, and more importantly, the theme of the what those ladies did with the 6888. But that's amazing that you just came up with that. Really amazing. Next week, bro, free Nick Whitted. Nick Whitted is gonna be back in the building.
Oh,
yeah, we got Nick Whitted say he want to come back. He's got some things to talk about.
Okay.
I don't want to put no business out there. We'll see what he talks about. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Speaking of return, huh?
Yes, we got to bring him back because
he's on a journey.
Expanded. Yes, we all are.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And Sunday on Mouthpiece Included, we're going to discuss the Pats debacle. And the Bears firing the offensive coordinator, Shane Waldron. And
what'd you call him?
Shame.
Yeah, that's what That's
Shame.
That's what he should be.
Yeah, Shane Waldron. You know, they hired a copper cutler too to take over.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Yeah, he's a McVeigh disciple.
Both kind of are, but this guy, he was, he was.
He didn't have it.
Yeah, he needed to go. I think, my opinion, Eberflus needed to go, but he's not gone yet. They don't do that in the middle of the season. I understand that.
What'd you call him? That's Eberflush. I call him Eberflush.
Yeah, no, he just loose because he's loose. That shit is a leak. It's a problem. It's not in order.
Eberflush. All right, y'all. That brings me to my personal favorite part of the whole shebang, and that's wordsmiths. Final words out there.
Was inspired from the bringing back MJ. Her soul and spirit is intact. She spit facts with dynamics. Man, had you look at the whole scene in the panoramic. Commitment with maximum effort will get you where you're going every day. Your dream and goal will be towing you behind in the right direction. Every choice, proper selection. It grows, becomes like an infection. Before you make a mistake, your mind makes the correction. Then growth inflection. The proper inspection. That's why they chin checking. I know what goes down. For sure, show now. Situations we show how. We should take example from the masters. Even before they know they mastered. A whole style. They show how. They got there before they got there. These words are spells. The difference, your interpretation between heaven and hell. Gotta look within so you can expel your so-called demons. They dwell within. A lot of it depends on how you spend your most valuable asset, which is time. Because it's limited in this simulation. You only got so much time, and it's been willed before you got here to instill your purpose or plan. You wrote spots to get out. At least 5 of them, so that I know. But listen to the lessons given in this session. They are a blessing. A weapon like a Smith & Wesson. But I wish you to inspect them Stay out of known laws of the universe to burst the bubble. You could make what you want to happen if you go through the trouble of learning your craft and perfecting it, using the math. You can be the best in your class. Words.
Words. All right, y'all. It's time to free the guys, free the guys. All right, Karen, play us off, will you? Great job there, fella.
Thank you. Love, love, respect.
Do you think you are the one? Honestly, I don't know. You know what that means? It's Latin. Means know thyself.
Caleb Williams thinks he's the one, that's for sure.
I think he is too.
Better throw the ball. Bullets. A boomerang.
Stand your ground.
Murder. It's suicide.
Yeah, an eye for an eye.
Silence is violence.
See something, say something.
Slave theory. Greed plus ego over fear. You got yourself a slave, boy.
Well, charity plus humility times love is freedom.
Please stop all the yapping to the bears, all our young men, people on the internet, going live and yapping. Whatever you do, do not answer questions.
Every experience, everything you see, you better judge. Question everything.
Fear is an illusion in your mind.
Vibrate love.
And forgiveness, that's love's highest vibration.
So, do something charitable for a so-called enemy and end the beef.
That's right. Go down there from O Block to 63rd and give them a loaded switch. Healthy people. Heal thy people.
One thing I know for sure, hurt people gonna try to hurt people.
100. Free Larry Hoover for president.
Free Jeff Ford
for president. Free all the guys, man.
Prison of slavery.
Yah. Keep your head up. Walk on water.
Man, do like the Self Love Show. And as time go, move mountain.
Man, Mountain Noob, your whole mountain, bro?
Bro, look at that. Every week, man, I'm telling you, bro, that shit, that is getting shorter. It's moving out of the way. Our wheel does that.
Y'all stop the killing. Get up, get out, and do something.
Every day.
Let you in a little secret.
Move to your passion in every way.
One is just like being in love.
Do your part.
No one can tell you you're in love. You just know it. Through and through. Balls to bones.
That's a diamond.